nobody picks that up. They click everything else right away. So that's what I was saying. My office doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Right, Marianne, it's true. He just had committed. He put those videos on tape en route to the attack on the 31st. So Mayorkas was saying, not with me, but he was saying with Sandra Smith, well, what do you want? It just went up that day. The other stuff that they had posted online was about real estate and nothing to do with terror attacks. But on the way to doing this, said, hey, by the way, I was going to kill my family, but I thought it would take emphasis off the fact that I'm a radical ISIS guy and I'm doing this for ISIS. So clearly, then he takes his time, gets an Airbnb, brings up 2 cell phones. We'll look at those cell phones, and then makes up 2 detonation devices and then 2 IEDs that he wanted to go off at separate times after he knew he'd be dead. So this is a guy who's radicalized beyond you would think possible, but he was able to have the rationality about him to be able to put together bombs and put together a plan and have the composure to be able to pull off his diabolical scheme of killing innocent people. And that's his goal. And that's the goal of all these guys. Please tell me how you sell that. Yeah, how do you sell that to people? By the way, OKB, everybody there listening, February 15th, I'll be in town, Florida Theater. Hope to see you there, BrianKilmeade.com. History, Liberty, and Laughs.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WINNING for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code WINNING. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WINNING for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WINNING.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When are they unveiling the statue of you and me, Daniel? That's what's going on behind me, right?
You wish.
I imagine you kind of sitting on my knee like Kermit the Frog, and I'm Jim Henson.
I am Kermit the Frog here. I'm Kermit the Frog here.
Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Yeah, everything is like, everything's like all messed up. So I had to put things together. So.
Yeah, I came in tonight.
Yeah.
And it was like walking into some kind of dystopian republic with banners everywhere.
Yeah.
None of Stalker's head.
No, none of us either.
None of us.
Yeah.
We're just a Sunday show.
Just a Sunday show.
We're lucky we're here. We're just happy to be here on the Matt Rudy Show.
But no, the whole, I don't really know what it was. The whole stuff with the stream that was messed up that I had to fix. Your intro wasn't in here. So I had to put that together real quick. A lot of stuff. I'm just like, new year, new struggles.
I can't even find my sticky keys. Oh, wait, here we go.
I may be Irish, but I'm not stupid.
There you go.
There you go.
Coulda fooled me. By the way, welcome back.
You as well.
Friends.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah. Matt Rooney here on the aforementioned Matt Rooney Show. Honored, privileged, all the things, as the Gen Zers say, to be with you again on this decidedly chilly, frigid evening in the Delaware Valley here on the banks of the Schuylkill River. Why does it always start to feel like Christmas around here after Christmas is already over?
It doesn't. Yeah, it's just you.
It's just me? Well, no. It always is kind of lukewarm outside.
No, it's just you.
What do you mean it's just me?
It's just you.
Are you saying that I'm wrong that it was cold before Christmas?
Sure.
I need someone who isn't 65 pounds soaking wet to answer this question.
Excuse you. 66.
66 pounds.
Get it right, brother.
He's been drinking his shakes.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I forgot. But yes, welcome back to the program, everyone, such as it is here on 1210 WPHT. Our first full Matt Rooney Show of 2025. Can you believe it? We made it. It's a whole new year, a whole new opportunity for mischief, mayhem, and to do what we try to do here at our program. And I think we ultimately achieve it better than anyone else does, or at least as well as anyone else does, which is to look at the week gone by, to prepare you for the week ahead, and to give you the information you need to be the best possible citizen you can be for your republic, because God knows we need more good citizens in this country. We got a little bit closer in 2024. Let's see if we could do more good work in 2025. We're not taking a year off here. We know that we won Pennsylvania. Yippee skippy. That was huge. I even got off of my not that large, moderately sized posterior and crossed the Delaware River. I did what they call a reverse George Washington, Daniel, and went across the river last year and campaigned for the Republican ticket and for Donald Trump in the Philly suburbs. Now it is time to go back to the dirty Jers, my homeland, and bring it home in 2025. Every single major national revolution that's positive for taxpayers, the cause of liberty, for our general prosperity, always begins in Jersey in the modern era. Think about it. Back in the early 90s, Dan wasn't born yet. He wasn't even a sparkle in his parents' eye. But back in the early 90s, Republicans won an upset victory with Christine Todd Whitman. And that was the year before the 1994 Republican Revolution, when Newt Gingrich and his contract with America led to a change of power on Capitol Hill for the first time in a generation. And then flash forward to the Tea Party movement, which only came about after the dark days of 2008, when Republicans picked up the New Jersey governorship with Chris Christie, Fatty McThunderbiscuits, who ultimately disappointed us in more ways than I have time on air to explain. If you're a regular listener of the Matt Rooney Show, then I don't need to explore it for you now. It's well-traveled territory. But the point remains that if you want to continue the larger project of moving this country back in a direction of accountability, transparency, and responsiveness to the core priorities that we share here on this program, then you can't take this as an opportunity to rest up for the midterms. You can't take a pass on 2025. You have to engage it, regardless of whether you're a New Jersey taxpayer like myself or not. So we're not going to stop here. Don't think just because the presidential is over, things are going to get quiet, sleepy, anything less than 110% around here on the Matt Rooney Show on Sunday nights. No way, no how. We can't afford to. We are going to lean in to this cycle. We've got guests lined up. We're talking to leaders around the country who are laser focused once again on our region because they recognize what the stakes are. We are talking to folks on the ground that are already doing good work in New Jersey and tracking their efforts. We have some stories to that effect tonight. I mean, Scott Pressler's already setting up shop down in Wildwood. He has an event scheduled next week in New Jersey, and I saw he was tweeting about it tonight or posting, whatever we're calling it these days over on X. Elon was posting on X about New Jersey today, and it was on the subject of something we were talking about last week on the Matt Rooney Show. Check that out. Don't you love when that happens? So just so you know where we're going, that's where we're headed. We are not a typical conservative radio program that scans Real Clear Politics, the Drudge Report, gives you a very brief, not very substantive overview of the latest headlines, plays a couple of clips of angry white liberal women screaming and calls it a day. Yes, we have some of that on this show, but we're about a whole lot more. We're action-oriented around here, and that's only going to be more true now than ever before. Let's give you some information on how you can participate in the program going forward, should you choose, because this is a free country for as long as we can keep it. 855-839-1210. Again, 855-839-1210. That is the number. We are stingy around here. Even some of the calls that I would otherwise take, Dan screens and never even tells me that they happened. I've had people complain to me that they called in, they had something they felt they needed to say. Well, it's up to Dan. He's a little tyrant over there, and he makes the calls, and I don't know what to tell you. So you really got to make it good if you want to get on air.
I heard my name, and I don't really know what we're talking about. Apparently there's an issue that Greg told me about, so I've been fixing that. So I haven't been paying attention, but I'm here now. So hi, how are you?
Oh, well, that's good. Glad one of us is working tonight.
I'm a one-man show back here, man.
One-man band, baby. No, I was just explaining, as I often do to the listenership, that you are stingy with phone calls. You only let the best calls on air. And even then, sometimes you gripe about it. He doesn't like when we have guests.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You got to be the best to get on air.
Yeah, so it was just a general disclaimer. Something else that's fun, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. where you can head on over and you can watch the program and confirm that I am indeed as handsome as I sound. There's also producer cam, so occasionally you can see Dan's skeletal frame when he chooses to direct one of the cameras over to the producing booth. You can also participate in the comments section, which is usually pretty salty, often informative, usually fun, sometimes a little weird and creepy and scary. And there's not much I can do about that. There's limits to our ability to regulate the interwebs. God bless the First Amendment. So again, youtube.com/@1210WPHT if you want to head on over there. I know the fun thing that people like to do is they like to put it on their smart TV at home. And then it's like having a fireside chat with your old pals, Matt and Dan, especially on a cold, wintry night when it is not that fun to venture outside. I checked the forecast before we left, and of course, the only people that are wrong more often than meteorologists are public pollsters, but they're saying anywhere between 3 inches to 9 inches for the Delaware Valley. It's an odd storm insofar as the impact is expected to be the worst down at the Jersey Shore, which of course is where I was going to be going tomorrow for the old day job. So that's just fantastic. We'll see what happens.
Whatchamacallit, my job already put out an email saying, like, hey, be smart. If you live further away, be smart about it. But if you want to wait till the plows come out, that's fine too. So they're already planning ahead.
See, that's the worst, though. Yeah. I want come in or cancellation. When they passive-aggressively say, use your best judgment, don't you think they're really telling you that they want you to work?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I have full plans of waking up when I normally do and seeing how, I guess, how bad the roads are. If the roads are bad, I'm not going in because I'm like 45 minutes to an hour and I'm on 422 and 202 and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I really don't want to go on that if the roads are bad, but also I might go in if they're plowed. So I don't really know. And I'm also at a show the rest of the week, so it's kind of conflicting.
It's kind of a little tricky. That's why it'd be easier if your bosses were just like, you know what? Don't come in tomorrow. Or, hey, listen, we expect you to come in. Unless you're, dragging your muffler and only have 2 wheels and have advanced frostbite.
Correct.
That's why when we see these weather forecasts, I don't know how you feel about snow.
I hate snow.
Well, I know you hate snow. You hate Christmas. You hate snow. There's not much that you do like. You complained in the summer when it was too hot.
I actually prefer hot, and I didn't complain about Christmas. I complained about the buildup of Christmas. So stop putting words in my mouth.
I'd be happy just to shut your mouth sometimes rather than put words in it, but then I would get arrested. No, you have complained about the heat, but we're not going to argue about that right now. My point is that I would prefer at this stage of my life that we have an inch or less or 3 feet because it eliminates the ambiguity for my morning. And then if I want to sound, which unfortunately I guess I will, like an old man bragging about how he once walked a mile in the snow without shoes when it was a foot deep to school, these education institutions, which you can only, if you're feeling extra generous, call some of them that, cancel for nothing now. There's a forecast of 2 inches, and they're shutting down the night before. I remember even when they were predicting a foot or more of snow, when I was a young Rooney, you still had to wake up in the morning to find out what was going on, which is what you're talking about doing tomorrow. You're going to wake up, you're going to look at the roads, you're going to listen to, KYW or whatever, right, to see what's going on, and then you're going to make it an adult decision. No, 2 inches of snow predicted, not even on the ground yet. Flurries not even falling. These schools start canceling.
They also don't have snow days anymore. Now that they have the ability to go online, they are now called flex days, which just means that they don't go into school. They have school online. So these kids don't have snow days anymore.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
It was a big part of childhood. I know the court system's done this too, where they'll continue to have some hearings even when it snows. So those of us that are attorneys don't get snow days anymore either, which is particularly sad. So things are changing, not always for the better, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Either way, folks, we hope you are safe. We'll do the best we can to warm your soul this evening. with some of the best commentary you're going to find anywhere on your radio dial. We also have some great guests coming up this evening, as we very often do. 2025 is in clear focus. We're going to be joined by Peter Cordy of the Washington Examiner. He's the homepage editor who has a great piece out on MAGA and its role in election 2025. And then our buddy Dan Cerrucci in the final hour this evening will share with us his list of 25 people that need to get lost in 2025 here on the Matt Rooney Show. Back in just a moment.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
James Brown is dead.
Listening to this, I feel like I'm at a grade school skate party. Are you too young for the roller skate rink parties?
Never. I've been to a couple.
They were the best.
Hey, they were great.
Really exceptionally crappy pizza. Arcade games, most of which were broken.
That's what made them good.
Yeah. It was the experience.
There's still a roller rink by my parents' house that's actually pretty popular.
Really?
Yeah, it opened up not too long ago.
I don't think there are any left in South Jersey. If I'm wrong about that and you're from my neck of the woods, let me know, because I don't think there are any. There was one at Voorhees, Camden County, for a long time, but I think it shut down a number of years ago. That's where I used to go as a kiddo. And I'd play the Simpsons arcade game. Good. I always tried to be Homer.
It's a good game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful game. Classic. I used to play it there, and I used to play it on the Ocean City Boardwalk. My two favorite places to go for it.
I used to play at the local bowling alley by my house.
The local bowling alley.
Yeah, it was a little family-owned bowling alley.
They were simpler times.
Yeah.
And your mama's over there on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Linda Valdez has a good point. Remember how excited you were to wake up and hear your school number on KYW?
It was the same thing with Fox 29, too.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was the greatest moment. I mean, second only to perhaps your birthday and Christmas morning, right? Was waking up on a snowy day, looking outside, and the world was covered in powdered sugar. And then you would listen to the radio, or your mom or your dad would come in and say, guess what? Your number's up.
We would always, our superintendent would always call. And every time we knew it was happening because my mom saw the school district phone number or the caller ID. She's like, kids aren't in school. So, yeah, that was always a good time.
It was good. Now your kids not having school is terrifying.
Now I don't have to worry about that.
Well, at the younger grades, they often do. They're not doing, because my kids are pretty young.
Well, I don't have to worry about that.
Well, no, you don't have to worry because you haven't reproduced yet. You haven't found somebody that was willing to do that with you.
Correct.
I'm also not sure exactly how it works for you. You may lay eggs. I'm not entirely sure.
Turkey baster, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
That is interesting, Alec. Again, 855-839-1210. That's the number. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Many of the regulars are in attendance this evening. Hello, Chris. Hello, Kimmy. I already mentioned Dan's mom is here. Steve just logged on from Washington Township. Hey, Steve. Road Warrior. Suze loves Jeffy. It's going to be a fun evening. And as I said before the break, we got some great guests in store for our second and third hours. But the first hour is still just getting underway. We have your full attention now. Stalker doesn't have you working on anything else while we're on air?
It wasn't even a Stalker thing. It was mainly he expressed an issue, and I wanted to fix it. But I'm always tweaking with the stuff when we're not talking. So
you're constantly tweaking.
Yeah, if you see things happening on stream, don't worry about it. It's just me doing things. I'm trying not to make it obvious, but sometimes you just have to. So
well, you're a consummate professional. People think this just happens. We turn on a webcam, everything's plugged in, and we are projected out over the radio waves. But no, Dan is constantly doing stuff. I would argue to say that Dan probably does more when we're on air than a pilot does when a plane is in the air. Once you get in the air, the pilot ain't doing much.
Well, it also
the plane's flying.
What also doesn't help that I do video full time. So like
you're a video guy.
Correct. That's I kind of have to make it look good, or else it'd be like, this guy's a video guy. This guy sucks. You know what I mean? The company actually hired this guy. Jesus.
It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine. Somebody already was being mean to you tonight over on the YouTube page. Said
really
that you look like an emaciated version of me. That's not nice.
Nah, it's Chris. He's fine.
That's not nice, Chris.
Chris
is a very nice guy. He was being playful.
It's kind of true.
The glasses, and we both have dark complexions. Beyond that, I don't really see it.
Papa.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Daddy? I always knew it was possible, but I wasn't planning on it being you.
Daddy?
Oh, no. That's... Is that oh God? I was just gonna say, is that something you and Bella do? I don't want to know about it.
What?
I don't know. That just came a little too naturally. You're kind of freaking me out over here.
Don't ask what else comes naturally.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Hey, let's talk some Congress. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about politics?
That's what the show is. You know.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could start with this. Did you get a Presidential Medal of Freedom? I didn't get one. Apparently, anyone can get one now.
Yeah, I'll have you know, I didn't get one.
That's disappointing.
No.
Although kind of interesting, because I'm not joking. I think that anyone could get one now. There was a time when the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is our nation's most prominent civilian award, you had to do something to get it, right? Something particularly distinguished in whatever field it is in which you're operating. Maybe you invented something extraordinary. Maybe you're a captain of industry. You've done something that not only puts you at the pinnacle of your career, but also in so doing contributed to the greatness of your country. Now it's an opportunity for the Democrats to get a bunch of their donors and their buddies together at the White House, and also with Joe Biden in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for just a little bit longer. It's a chance to score some cheap political points and to make some political points, which don't really belong at this stage of a presidency or any stage of a presidency. Mitt Romney accepted a medal on behalf of his father, the late George Romney, former governor, which a few people have pointed out because Mitt was getting ribbed online. Oh, well, he was there for his father, not for himself. George Romney's been dead for how long? 30 years? 40 years? Do you think that anybody at the White House decided that George Romney deserved a medal suddenly this year? No, it's because Joe Biden and his people, mostly his people, because Joe Biden doesn't know his name most days, have decided that they want to make a statement going out the door, and they are going to honor anyone who has the most severe possible affliction of TDS that they can possibly find.
Speaking of that, what does Messi have to do with that? Lionel Messi?
I have no idea.
He got one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you got Denzel Washington, who
Michael J. Fox.
I like Denzel. Michael J. Fox is arguably one of the people that maybe makes the most sense, because there's someone who was a icon of American entertainment in the 1980s, right? Between his television show and the Back to the Future movies, and now he's afflicted with a really difficult condition, but he's raised a ton of money for it. That kind of makes sense. Alex Soros accepting a medal on behalf of his father. What have they done for this country? He's just a Democrat mega donor.
These are just his buddies.
These are just his buddies. Hillary Clinton emerged from the lowest layer of hell, probably stinking of sulfur, to go and pick up her medal. All right, fine. It's his buddy. She's a former Secretary of State. Not a fan. I guess understand the argument. I'm not sure what she's accomplished, other than destroying more emails than anyone probably ever has in the history of the internet. Denzel Washington got one. I mean, I like Denzel's movies. Has Denzel done anything to change or revolutionize the world? I can't think of it. Ralph Lauren makes some great shirts. I've got some of them in my closet. They're fitting a little snugger after the holidays. I don't know. I mean, do you deserve the Presidential Medal of Freedom for awesome pants? Maybe. He has more of a claim to be there than Soros's, I guess. In many ways, this whole Medal of Freedom thing, I mean, we're being cheeky and glib about it, but it very much epitomizes what's wrong with the Biden administration, right? The Biden administration came into power repeatedly accusing Donald Trump of undermining our institutions, attacking the Constitution, endangering the American way of life, imperiling our ideals, all of this grandiose rhetoric, right, that was designed to scare people into voting for Joe Biden and for the Democrats in 2020. It is Joe Biden, in fact, who has done more to diminish the grandeur of that once great institution, the American presidency, than any leader of our country, certainly in my lifetime, probably well beyond. I mean, for starters, and you don't need me to recap all of this because it should all be fresh in your mind from the recently concluded presidential election cycle. But how about him and his son using their family name and their influence given to them by the voters of this country to make a gazillion dollars, probably from foreign shadowy interests, mainly concentrated in countries that hate us, that are our enemies? How about all the ways in which Joe Biden has relied upon DEI and wokeness to make decisions for key positions in his administration, which has not strengthened our country or led to positive decision-making, which has made our country stronger? Instead, it's made us a laughingstock around the world. The world remains on fire. We remain less safe than we have been since at least 9/11. We just had an attack from ISIS on American soil. That's what it looks like. And it may not even be the most harrowing thing that's appearing on your newspaper pages this morning when you woke up on Sunday to have your coffee and greet a brand new day. So, I mean, he's cheapened everything else. Why not cheapen the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor he's allowed to hand out? Maybe they gave everybody a free bag of Coke, too, on the way out the door, since they just leave them laying around
How do I get that?
the White House. Dan all of a sudden wants to sign up. He didn't care about not getting one before.
How do I want that?
But now that you know that no sugar,
The boog
the boog sugar is part of the package, you're suddenly interesting.
Denzel only got it because of his performance in Gladiator 2. If he wasn't in it, he'd be like, screw that guy. But he's like, oh, Gladiator 2. Okay.
Is Gladiator 2 out yet?
Yes.
Was it good?
I don't know. I saw like maybe 15 minutes of it on New Year's Eve.
Okay. And it has nothing to do with the original, right?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen the original.
I thought maybe you looked into it.
Nope.
Has anyone seen Gladiator 2? Anybody over on the YouTube page? Anybody over on X? By the way, a lot of people have decided to tweet or post or whatever you want to call it at me. We're still working out what the verbs are. My handle over on X is Matt Rooney NJ, if you want to do that. I don't know. Maybe I need to add that to my list. This is the time of year to stay in and binge watch television and watch movies when they're available on streaming because it's too cold to do anything else. Other than, I don't know, tune in and watch the Presidential Medal of Freedom award ceremony and wonder what in God's name is happening to your country. It may only be the second most boring and confusing award ceremony of the season, though. I was reading up on the Golden Globes earlier today. I cannot tell you the last time I watched a Hollywood award show. Sometimes I'll read about it if it pops up, just out of morbid curiosity. Apparently, is it Nikki Glaser or Glasser?
Glaser.
Is it Glaser?
Yeah, she's a comedian.
I've heard of her. I've never seen one of her stand-up bits. I don't know if she's any good. Have you experienced Nikki?
I know she hosts a lot, but
You've never seen it?
Never really. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not familiar with her work, but I've heard her name before, so she's famous. She's apparently hosting the Golden Globes this year, and she's going out of her way to say that she is not going to offend anyone. This is according to Showbiz 411. I'm not going to go so hard that anyone's going to be offended. I've made a point not to, and that's not to disappoint anyone who's hoping I'm going to pull a Ricky Gervais. I'm not Ricky Gervais. This isn't my last Golden Globes. This is my first one. He really went hard on his last one. He was ready to burn some bridges. It didn't matter anymore. I got to give her this. Craven, sure. But at least she's being honest. I want to keep the job, and I want to keep being asked back, and I'm not that big of a star yet, so I don't want to tick everyone off. But Hollywood is losing its teeth here, I guess, right? I mean,
Denzel Washington is nominated for a Golden Globe.
Is he nominated for a Golden Globe?
Yeah,
for Gladiator 2?
Yes, it's best performance by an actor in a supporting role.
Who does he play in Gladiator 2, by the way?
Lordy, you're gonna make me actually do my job.
Well, I'm curious.
He plays Macrinus.
Macrinus.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
So Gladiator 1 wasn't exactly historically accurate. I'm assuming this is just a made-up character.
I would guess so.
Oh, wait. No, hold on.
I don't know.
So, according to, I don't pretend to be an expert on Roman history. Marcus Opellius Macrinus was a Roman emperor who reigned from April 217 to June 218, jointly with his young son. So, Denzel, a fantastic actor, objectively, right? There aren't many people that aren't fans of Denzel Washington's work. A black man is going to play a Roman emperor, I guess. That's what I'm gathering here.
Yes, I think that's what yeah.
Okay, all right, well, there you go.
Some of the
wokeness prevails once again.
I'm looking at the nominees for some of them. Some of the movies, I'm like, never really heard of them. Some of the TV shows are pretty good, though. I will say that. Like, Challengers is nominated. Dune Part 2 is nominated. Wicked is nominated.
I can't stand Wicked.
Yeah.
That Gravity song that everybody likes.
Gravity. Yeah, those are the only ones that I like see that are actually that I know of. All the other ones I don't know. Beetlejuice I've seen. Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, Twisters.
Oh, Twisters was fun.
Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't exactly call it high art, but
yeah, well, that's.
It was entertaining.
A lot of the TV shows are a lot better. I will say.
Okay.
Only Murders in the Building, great show.
That is a pretty solid show. Although I did not enjoy the most recent season.
I didn't finish it
as much as the first 3. Well, then I won't say anything.
I didn't finish it,
even though it's been out for a long time. So I'd be within my right to give spoilers.
I'm like halfway through it. But
Okay.
I just haven't. Speaking of TV shows, Bella and I did binge watch Squid Game 2 the day it came out.
Oh, so good.
No.
So good.
First one was a lot better.
I don't agree with that.
That's fine.
I mean, again, more wokeness. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, one of the lead characters for season 2 of Squid Games, the story about South Korea. It's actually satire of South Korea's personal individual debt crisis, where a shadowy organization decides to organize these gladiatorial-style games for people that are severely in debt, and they go to this mystery island, and they kill each other for money. And whoever's left standing gets to walk away with the pot, which is billions of dollars in their currency, millions of dollars in American currency. This season gets a little woke. One of the leading characters is a lady boy, a boy girl, former boy, now a girl. But it's still an entertaining show.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's woke. I just think they just have. By the way, that's not an actual transgender. I don't know if you know that. It's a man playing a transgender character.
Oh, I don't know what he is. But
No,
it's clearly a dude.
Right. It's a
right.
The actor that plays that character is a dude.
But it's a trans character.
But it's a trans character.
Yeah.
But it's a dude. I mean, it's kind of a small part in it. It's not like it goes full woke. It's just a character, though.
Well, it gets. I can't ruin it for you, but it gets bigger as the.
I've seen it.
Oh, you did see it.
I saw Squid Game
I would.
2.
I wouldn't say that the
No.
I wouldn't say the tranny was a minor character.
No, I would say they were a major character for sure, but they didn't really become a major character until like towards the end. But like they say, oh, they're trans. This is what they're in here for. Let's go. Let's go shoot some things. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is.
Yeah, and look, we've had this discussion before. Sometimes Hollywood sacrifices quality to be woke. Sometimes you have a really good product like the Squid Games, which happens to have a woke element. So I still watched it. I still enjoyed it. At the same time, yeah, did I roll my eyes when I saw that one of the lead characters was trans?
Kind of a badass.
Because it doesn't add any. Well, right, but it doesn't add anything to the story. It's just, oh, yeah, we got to have a trans character.
In terms of adding things to the story, no. But in terms of why that character is in the games, yes.
Well, there's plenty of reasons that someone could be down on their luck.
Right.
And they don't all include that they want to chop off their own bait and tackle.
See, this is where we differ. I didn't really think too much into it.
We differ on many things, Daniel.
Yeah, I just watched the show. I enjoyed the show. I thought season 1 was a lot more, was a lot better. I thought there was a lot more of the games, and there was a lot more violence in it.
Would you like that? You love horror.
I do.
You love gore.
I do.
You're a sick, twisted little man.
I thought season 2 was good, but I thought season 1 was better. But yeah, we binged that the day it came out.
I recommend that.
Yeah.
I recommend that. I also recommend if you want, since we now turn this into a movie TV review, which we often do, we never stay on topic around here.
We go from talking about the Medal of Honor to this.
Well, I don't even remember at this point. I don't even remember, but it doesn't matter. Black Doves, Netflix, very good. Very, 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 very good. Highly recommend that. It's got Keira Knightley.
Cool.
You're not into Keira Knightley?
Weren't
a Pirates of the Caribbean fan?
Yeah.
Did it give you constipation? Is that what that is intended to convey?
It's not one of my favorites, I'll tell you that.
All right,
but
well, that's fine.
I got to be in the mood to like watch a show or a movie, or else I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to watch it.
All right. Well, we'll give Dan some fiber so we can deal with whatever's going on in that booth, and we'll be back with more Matt Rooney Show. Maybe we'll even be on topic when we return from this commercial break.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kale and Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get mulligans on the line.
Yeah.
We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up mulligans. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
In Virginia Beach, our locals live the life every day. In fact, we can't wait to share our way of life with new friends. It's no secret that we are known as one of the happiest communities in the country. Virginia Beach is a friendly hug, a warm handshake, a hearty laugh, and a healthy dose of the unexpected. The art of living the life starts by connecting with what matters most: happiness. When you visit, you will realize that happiness is a real place, and that it is here in Virginia Beach.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right? Well, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating you, so save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals are, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use the code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements. Use that code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
And they close my kid's school tomorrow. Do you see what I'm saying? It's 7:45. We're not supposed to have any flakes falling for over 3 more hours. And it's not like they're predicting snowmageddon. We're getting soft. 855-839-1210. Again, over on YouTube, youtube.com/1210WPHT. We have some calls, I think, about snow days. Is that correct, Daniel?
Yes.
Let's snatch one of them from the phone lines.
This is Chris.
This is Chris. I was going to say I can't see it here on my screen. That's my bad. Chris, you're on the Matt Rooney Show. Are you as salty as me, or are you happy about snow days?
I was laughing so hard when you were extrapolating about your concept of snow days, and I figure you were probably a little kid maybe 20 years ago versus I go back 4 years ago, back to the 70s, and it's hilarious because even my car, I have a Subaru front-wheel drive standard SUV, and even the smaller ones compared to like the ones down at the dealership, to like the Broncos, nowadays anyone can plow through snow, let alone what's expected tomorrow, about 1 to 3 inches.
That's a fair point. Now all of these mom tanks are on the road, Chris, and it's easier than ever to get to school. That's a good point. And I know I deal with these giant mom tanks. That's what I call them when I'm in the Wawa parking lot in the morning, or certainly when I'm in the parking lot at my kids' school, and you're taking your life in your hands. It's like that scene in Star Wars where they're dodging all the giant battle cruisers. What are they called, Dan? You're a bigger nerd than even I am.
For what?
Star Wars. What are the big ships thing?
The AT-ATs?
Maybe Chris knows. Well, when they're flying. The AT.
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever they are. The spaceships. It's terrifying.
Can I say that back in the 70s, the winters were brutal? I mean, seriously brutal compared to even the last 3 years. There's barely been any snow.
That's right. Yeah, no, there's no reason to overreact now as we do, but that's what we're going to do. It's almost as if, not to get too philosophical about this, but we're looking for things in this modern age of ours to get excited and worked up about. Right? So we make too much of what in years gone by was just a minor inconvenience. All right, occasionally it's so bad you got to cancel school. But, hey, listen, maybe you got to walk a little carefully, get into your car in the morning. Maybe you got to drive a little slower. Now it's something that you have to wear your boots, strap on your mask, stay inside, shelter in place, have an extended list of things that you can or can't do. It's just the overmanagement of our existence, and it is no surprise to me, Chris, if I can take it a little bit further, that our children are increasingly suffering from severe anxiety. Wouldn't you be anxious if everything was a big darn deal, if everything was an excuse to shut everything down and have a snow day? Chris, thanks for calling in to 1210 WPHT. A lot of good points there. Not just for me. I'm talking about from Chris, of course. So my day is completely upended tomorrow, so we have to have as much fun this evening as we possibly can. Do you have school tomorrow, Dan? Or do I have to babysit you too?
You can babysit me.
All right.
Just give me a couple high noons and we'll be good.
All right, come on over. You and I will drink.
We can start with some morning mimosas.
You want a little mimosa?
Bro, let me tell you, mimosas.
I just had this image of you showing up on my front porch tomorrow with like a Fargo hat, a bottle of champagne, and an orange juice, expecting to be entertained. Bella drops you off, honks. Beep, beep. Be good. Be good for Mr. Rooney.
Mimosas are delightful. I love a good mimosa.
Yeah, they're not bad.
But, I'll show up to your door tomorrow and be like, hey, remember me?
Well, here's the only problem with entertaining you on a snow day, though. The type of television that you like to watch is not going to be okay for my kids.
I don't watch TV.
We can't watch Saul.
You act like I watch that constantly. I don't.
Well, what do you watch? I mean, what do you watch that's child-friendly? I got news for you, buddy. We're going to be rocking Moana.
Seen it.
Okay, well, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm just saying are you okay with Disney movies? I'm talking about the old school Disney movies.
I have TikTok, so I can just occupy myself on TikTok.
Well, I guess that's true. You can bring some headphones and entertain yourself.
My favorite old school Disney movie, and I think we've gone over this before, is The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
The second one.
Oh, yeah, Mighty Ducks.
The
is
best
fantastic.
Disney movie, hands down. Don't fight me. that is a losing argument for the person trying to argue with me. Just saying.
No, I wouldn't even try. That's a rare point of agreement for you and I.
Yeah. Yes.
I forgot to mention, too, some people are tweeting at me, again, Matt Rooney, NJ, some of the more objectionable recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom this year. Joe Biden had the ceremony last week. It was an abomination. Of course, Liz Cheney got one. Liz Cheney, who arguably should be investigated for witness tampering. Another case of projection. She was accusing everyone else of criminality. Didn't necessarily follow her own advice. Hopefully that'll be investigated with the new Congress.
But here's the thing. How could we forget the one and only Bono?
Did Bono get one?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. According to the White House on their website, obviously he's the front man for legendary rock band U2 and a pioneering activist against AIDS and poverty. He brought together politicians from opposing parties to create the United States PrEPFAR AIDS program and is co-founder of campaigning organizations.
Bono annoys me. But that has more to do with the fact that I don't really enjoy U2. We've been down that road before.
Yeah, I don't like U2.
Sunday, bloody Sunday. Honestly, the only song that I like because it's kind of sort of original.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else sounds exactly the same. So she received a Presidential Medal of Freedom, which, maybe she can barter it for cigarettes in the event that she goes to jail for witness tampering. Stay tuned on that one. Bill Nye also received a Presidential Medal of Freedom. Now, many in my generation, I'm a millennial, even though I don't like to admit it, and the next generation down, Daniel's generation, have fond memories of Bill Nye as being that charismatic dude on your television that showed you how to make a papier-mâché volcano that explodes. But in recent years, he's become increasingly wackadoo.
It was always a good day when Bill Nye came onto the TV or the smartboard in science class. It was always a good day.
Yeah, no, it was always a good day, but now less good because he stopped teaching science. He's not really a scientist, by the way. He's an entertainer, but that's fine. Now it's all about indoctrination, and I can give you one recent example if you're curious. It's cut number 7. This is Bill Nye, recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, talking about gender to the kiddies.
Female or male, gay or straight, pink or blue. We were taught to see these as binary. Now we're realizing it's more like a kaleidoscope.
And this stuff isn't just for adults. Parents know this already. Kids explore gender, expression, attraction before they've ever heard of a spectrum.
Take sex. We used to think it was pretty straightforward. X and a Y chromosome for males, 2 X's for females. But we see more combinations than that in real life. And even for people with just 2 sex chromosomes, hormones can vary wildly. So can anatomy. What makes someone male or female isn't so clear-cut. How about attraction? Some people argue the natural thing is to only be attracted to the opposite sex. But in practice, it ain't so simple, kids. Some people are gay, some are bi, some are asexual, and some will take whatever they can get. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
It's another sexy
good joke. It's a good one.
sliding scale. When
I'm
you throw
laughing
in
so hard.
gender, it gets even more colorful.
By 3 or 4, most kids identify with a gender, and it doesn't always match the sex they were assigned at birth. And a person's gender identity may change over their lifetime.
And culture is getting us new ways to express all of this. How you dress, how you act and talk, how you present yourself to the world. It should be up to you. Sure, this might make things confusing for those who insist everyone pick an M or an F. But people, we have to listen to the science. And the science says we're all on a spectrum. Our labels, our fashion, even our washrooms are still catching up to that truth. I think you'll find when we look at sexuality this way, it is more complicated, but it's also a lot more honest. And it's more interesting. I learned a lot tonight. I mean, I'm this cis male guy who's been living in this world. But this stuff, to me, from a scientific standpoint, is just cool.
Got it?
It's just cool, Dan.
It's just cool.
Did you hear any science in there?
No.
I didn't hear any Science.
The only science thing that I heard was that you can take some when you get some.
Oh,
straight,
God,
don't
it
I?
is so creepy.
Yeah.
Every single lefty that leans into this stuff is suspect because their delivery could not be creepier. Could not be creepier. Oh, man. Suze loves Jeff, he says, who takes this guy seriously? Well, I mean...
Daddy owes you.
Daddy, right? The big guy, the President of the United States, for another, 15 days takes him seriously.
If you want to know what his, bio was on the White House website, it is Bill Nye has inspired. By the way, his name is William Sanford Nye. Bill Nye has inspired and influenced generations of American students as Bill Nye the Science Guy. His dedication to science education continues through his work as CEO of the Planetary Society and as a vocal advocate for space exploration and environmental stewardship. So it has nothing to do with literally what he was talking about, just because he's an advocate for space exploration.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can be an advocate, right? I mean, I can advocate, and I have advocated to save the whales and the dolphins by not putting Phil Murphy's spinning turbines of death off of our coast.
Oh, look, there goes one now. Oh. Wow, we are getting force with them today. Wow.
That was a good one, right?
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'd be shocked if a whale doesn't swim up to our studio right now on the banks of the Schuylkill.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But that doesn't make me a scientist, right? Maybe I should call myself Matt the Science Guy. Matt the Whale Guy. Trying to protect the marine mammals from being slaughtered by Phil Murphy. These people are such jokes, folks. 15 days, though, until we begin the real resistance. We're going to take back this country one step at a time. Matt Rooney here on the Matt Rooney Show. 1 hour done. 2 hours left to go tonight on 1210 WPHT. So go fill that coffee mug and be back right here in a minute.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right? Well, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating you, so save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals are, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use the code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements. Use that code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Make 2025 the year you get started on your next success with the University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC is a school for real life, helping working adults like you learn the skills you need for the career you want. Choose from more than 135 degrees and certificates in career-relevant fields and earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. Get a head start on your goals in the new year. Now is the perfect time to take the next step in your life and education at University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Undergraduate and most graduate courses start January 8th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back, old friends, new frenemies, and all who lie elsewhere in between on the spectrum that is life. I am Matt Rooney, and this is the Matt Rooney Show, coming to you live from the city of not-so-brotherly love this fine, chilly Sunday night, but broadcasting all over the fruited plain. There are people listening tonight in the People's Republic of California. There are people freezing their tuchuses off up in Maine. And I know of at least a couple of you that are tuning in from the free state of Florida. Yes, we know the weather is much nicer down there. Shut up, we hate you. We don't want to hear all about it. We are jelly, as producer Dan would say. Super jelly. That's something Gen Zers say, I think, right?
That hasn't been a thing in ages.
Really?
Jelly? No.
Jelly? That's not a thing anymore?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Well, what would a Gen Zer say?
In terms of what?
Well, what's jealous? You have to have something for that.
You know, just I got nothing. I don't know.
Get out.
Know.
Get out.
I don't.
Get out of here.
Sorry.
All right. Well, Starting out the second hour by falling flat on your face, Daniel.
I don't know Gen Z terms.
Not a good look.
I don't
Not
know
a good
Gen
look.
Z terms, buddy. Pal. Don't call me pal, buddy.
One of the best things about being back with you is I get to use this Dan laugh. I filled in for Rich Zioli over the Christmas holiday, and I had no purpose for this.
You could have used it.
I could have, but it's a complete non sequitur for many of the listeners.
True.
I mean, there is some overlap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Zioli show, Zioli Army foot soldiers that also tune in for the Matt Rooney Show. We don't have a cool name for our listeners.
No, but I also do work for Rich as well. So
You do.
I do.
That is true.
So there is overlap.
Yeah, I could have done it then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, maybe next time. There's always next time, folks. But for now, we've got a show to do. So let's get down to business. 855-839-1210 is the number here at the Matt Rooney Show. Should you wish to call in and participate, keep it pithy, keep it interesting. Do your darndest, right? A lot of people are listening. Don't make a fool of yourself like I sometimes do. Or you can head on over to YouTube, to the interwebs, youtube.com/@1210WPHD. You can see me. You can listen to me. And you can also, if you are brave enough, not just put one toe in the water, but jump in the pool and join the comment section, where it's not always friendly, but it's always interesting. But most of the folks over there are worth getting to know, albeit a little bit odd. I like to think of it kind of like the Muppets, right? Like the Muppets are a little screwy, can be a little intimidating. A couple Muppets are downright scary. But all in all, lovable little fuzzballs, as the great Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace, once famously said. Mango Mush says, "Don't call me buddy, friend." All right. Well, there we go. Ben Nolan Swagger Diaper Baby Teen is back. Teen Baby Diaper is in the chat. So there's that. All right. Well, let's see who else shows up this fine evening. We've got a guest coming up to this hour, two more for the show. Peter Cordy joins us in about 15 minutes. He's the homepage editor of the Washington Examiner. You all know that beyond the fact that 2025 is a big deal, no matter who you are, I'm a Jersey guy. I live in the Garden State. I run the website of record for conservatives in New Jersey, SaveJersey.com. The gubernatorial battle that is already beginning to play out on my side of the river is a big darn deal. Peter Cordy is one of the many members of the conservative national media that is paying attention to Jersey. He's writing about Jersey. I checked out his bio. Went to Rutgers. He's a Rutgers guy. He's a Scarlet Knight. So we want to talk to him about some of the conversations he's been having, not just with the folks who were in his article, which include Scott Pressler and some other luminaries of the New Jersey America First movement, but also find out what the national media is saying about New Jersey 2025. We get ignored so often. People just write us off as a blue state because we haven't voted for a Republican for president since 1988.
Hey, just real quick. Don't mean to interrupt you, but I just had some.
You don't really feel bad about interrupting me.
Not at all.
And you'll do it anyway. But I appreciate the
Correct.
politeness.
Yeah. So we just had a caller.
Okay.
Who just called in and said he's not listening anymore.
Okay.
Because this isn't an open forum show.
He's not listening because this isn't an open forum show.
Correct.
Open forum meaning that anyone calls in and we just put it on air?
Correct.
Ah, I see.
Yes. So I'm upset about it. I don't know if you are. I'm over here crying because I'm like, oh no, we lost a listener. But I just want to let you know that.
Don't mess up the keyboard with them salty tears.
I don't
falling
know,
like snowflakes.
Just wanted to let you know that we lost a listener because it's not an open forum show.
All right. Well, look.
Back to your scheduled regular program.
So listen, this is not a program, and this is just my philosophy, right? When you have a show, right, the random caller show, then you can set your own rules. My philosophy has always been that if you're listening to this program, there's a decent chance that you are here because you want to listen to me, yours truly. Now, with that being said, and Dan knows this for as much as we joke, I don't like 3 hours of just me. I don't think that that's what you're here for either. You want to hear a conversation led by me. That means we do have guests. That means Dan and I have lots of interesting and playful banter. But I don't want to do a call-in show, right, where it's me fielding questions for 3 hours. Sometimes the questions or sometimes the commentary from the callers is fantastic and it's on point. It's what we want to talk about, or it at least doesn't divert us from where we're going in a particular segment. And we say, sure, come on in. But we're not going to do the calls just to demonstrate that we have a lot of callers or to make people feel all warm and fuzzy. It's not how it works here. If that's the kind of show you want, I guess you have other options. Or if you want to do the whole stream of consciousness thing and feel like you're participating in an open forum, head over to the YouTube page where everyone gets to comment nonstop for 3 hours with no interruptions, and we're not censoring it. I guess in theory, if somebody said something really, really out in left field, then we would probably have to do something about it. But thankfully, that has not been an issue to date. So I just thought I'd throw that out there for some of the new listeners. I know that from the election, as the show continues to grow, many of you are tuning in because you know that I'm the Save Jersey guy, and it's a big year for New Jersey. We've got a lot of new people in the audience. Maybe it was time to give a little bit of a refresher. So if nothing else, Daniel, that gave us the opportunity. So nothing lost.
No, also don't call into the station and just waste time either.
No, we got stuff we got to do.
Yeah. No, there was the last caller that literally just there was just another one. Super sweet girl. I think she's on an island and not an island in Georgia. Not like, I don't know if it's Georgia in the United States or not, but this is the only station she got, and she gave me a hypothetical question. So
hold on. So you just got a call from someone from the country George.
I believe so.
In Eastern Europe.
I believe so.
Okay, and what did she say?
She gave me a hypothetical question.
Okay.
I don't really remember it at all, but it kind of just went in one ear and out the out.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're going to call a show, make sure
Right.
it's something meaningful.
Right. Well, so this is a good illustration, right? People are calling from all over the country and sometimes beyond all 3 hours. We wouldn't get to anything important.
I appreciate them for listening.
Yes,
Don't
we
get
do.
me wrong.
We do.
I appreciate you for listening. But callers, let's stay on topic, please. We got stuff to talk about, things to do. But callers are welcome.
Yes. You just have to be a part of the show that we're having. That's probably the best way to say it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because we've got big things. Like, for example, Kamala Harris messing up the Pledge of Allegiance. Did you hear this?
I did.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
I did.
It's awesome. Every time Kamala pops her head back up, I'm reminded of what a massive proverbial bullet this country has dodged by not having her as president. I mean, can you imagine if this dingbat had actually won the election? Just listen to this. And for those who don't know, we got a new Congress this week, right? Most of the attention was focused on the fact that Speaker Johnson prevailed over on the House side. Over on the Senate side, Kamala Harris, until noon on January 20th, is still the president of the Senate. So she was tasked with swearing in the new senators for the new Congress earlier this week. One of the best aspects of the day was that J.D. Vance, who will be the president of the Senate after Kamala Harris leaves office as our new vice president, was in the back of the chamber yucking it up and with the giant grin on his face and looking like he was having the time of his life throughout the entire proceeding. It was wonderful. It's going to be great to have a troll as vice president, one that's as talented at trolling as JD is. But Kamala, lots of awkward exchanges. It had to be a pretty painful day for her, almost as bad as tomorrow when she has to certify the presidential results and declare Donald Trump the victor of the 2024 election. But again, it started out with her getting something wrong that even most school kids in 2025 can nail pretty easily. Let's roll the tape.
Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the...
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America Look,
Good night, everybody.
I am usually fairly forgiving with gaffes. The reason being, I'm a lawyer. I have a radio show. I am constantly talking. So in any given 3-hour period, in any given hour and a half oral argument, there is a chance I'm going to mangle a syllable at least once, right? It's just, it's math, right? The longer you talk, the chances of some sort of error increases. That's just the way that it works. But with Kamala Harris and her boss, Joe Biden, it's constant. It's constant. And, it's easy enough to dismiss this particular gaffe of Kamala's as, well, she's nervous. It's an awkward day. It's one of her last ceremonial roles as vice president. So maybe she was feeling a lot. I think maybe it's something a little bit different. I think her heart's not in it. And her heart's just not in it because she lost. That's not the only reason. I think her heart's not in it because she doesn't have a reverence for our country and our system like a J.D. Vance does. She just doesn't, right? I mean, she was the most liberal senator in all of Congress when she served there for a good reason. She doesn't believe in America. She wanted to fundamentally transform it like Barack Obama. The only thing that you and I, dear listeners, can agree with Barack Obama on is that we all agreed that Kamala Harris would have been a terrible president, right? And I'm just so glad when I hear that clip that we just shared with you that she's not going to be taking the oath of office on January 20th. It would have been an absolute disaster. Can you imagine how you would feel today with everything that's going on in New Orleans and Las Vegas with this mysterious bomber outside President Trump's hotel there? Can you imagine staring down the proverbial barrel at these events, knowing that Kamala Harris is about to become the commander-in-chief? No, thank you. No, thank you. Not one bit. 855-839-1210. That's the number. Again, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Let's take a break, play some ads, make some money. We're capitalists here. And when we return, Peter Cordy from the Washington Examiner. Don't go anywhere.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Eagles beat the Giants in their final regular season game. They host the Packers in the wild card round next week. The region is expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow Monday morning, and President Biden travels to New Orleans Monday to mourn the people killed in the New Year's truck attack.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Albert the Great Church on Welsh Road in Huntington Valley, Saturday, January 11th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Most of us don't fit in the clothes we wore 30 years ago. And financial advice from 30 years ago doesn't fit either. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen. Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Leaves raked. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There are so many great choices. Is it the delicious Crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake, so choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, except no substitutes.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly.
That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hey guys, it's Jim Costa from Cash the Ticket. If you're planning on betting the NFL playoffs, buckle up. Betting football's hard enough as it is. We're doing the research for you, so listen to Cash the Ticket with Mike Valeni and I. We'll be dropping new episodes for every single playoff game. And that's going to be storylines leading into it, so some good football stuff, but also the betting nuggets you're looking for. Sides, totals, trends, player props, throw those in there too. Pre-game and post-game, we're going to be all over the postseason. Subscribe to Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Free speech lives here with Kaylee Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
I mentioned in hour number 1, Elon Musk, the man himself, Emperor of Earth, or whatever it is that the lefties in the media want you to believe. He's weighing in on Jersey. Everyone is going to focus on Jersey this year, not just yours truly. Earlier today on X, he commented on something we talked about on last week's Matt Rooney show, specifically that beginning January 1st of this year, New Jersey teachers no longer have to take a basic skills test. That's right. For years now, if you want to be a teacher in the Garden State public school, you have to demonstrate basic proficiency by taking a test in reading, writing, and arithmetic. No longer. That's gone. Because the Democrat legislature and our Democrat governor, Phil Murphy, are in bed under the covers with the corrupt teachers union, the NJEA. I like to call them the New Jersey Miseducation Association in New Jersey. The NJEA steers gazillions of dollars towards Democrats every year, both indirectly through their advocacy for Democrat ideals and ideas, but also directly with dark money. Lots of dark money flowing in Phil Murphy's direction from the NJEA and its allies. So, unsurprisingly, because politics is transactional, if the NJEA wants laxer standards for its membership, Trenton obliges. And it's, who cares about the kids, right? The teachers union isn't there to make sure that our schools do a good job. The teachers union is there to throw some bones to the teachers that pay union dues to keep the NJE leadership fat and happy and powerful. Union dues, of course, which are garnished from taxpayer-subsidized paychecks. This is why I have said for the longest time that public sector unions are a fundamental conflict of interest. Right? Most public sector unions have no purpose for this precise reason. I, as a taxpayer, am essentially funding a union that is going to negotiate against my best interest. Does that make any sense? It shouldn't. But Elon Musk weighing in on the end of basic skills testing for New Jersey teachers. So teachers don't need to know how to read in New Jersey, Elon said. Seems like that would make it challenging to teach kids how to read. I agree with the resident genius. And look, I mean, it just highlights the disconnect, right, between the leftist education establishment and the reality and the realities, plural, that our country currently faces. Elon Musk, whether you agree with him on visas or not, is a very successful entrepreneur that has a good grasp on what this nation needs to do to have a strong economy and an effective workforce that is capable of staffing and meeting the needs of the business community. So, who do you think has a better sense of what qualifications a teacher should have? Teachers union bureaucrats or a guy like Elon Musk or his buddies out there in the real world that need an American workforce that, can read and add and subtract and do long division? When we debated the visas, I made a point of telling all of you that I genuinely saw both sides of the issue. When it comes to illegal immigration and the border itself, there's no room for debate. The border needs to be closed, and we need to end illegal immigration and sanctuary statehood immediately. And then we can have a discussion about how to reopen the border in a way that, let some people in who we want to consider to be Americans that are doing it the right way, but also in a fashion that keeps the American people safe, right? And doesn't create what we have right now or exacerbate what we already have right now, right? Which is an incentive to come here and not incorporate oneself into the American experiment. When we're talking about visas for people that we need for tech jobs, I mean, I get it. It creates a perverse incentive for some companies to try to obtain cheap labor when they could have a more expensive but equally good alternative that's homegrown here in the United States. But you also can't deny the fact that a lot of millennials and Gen Zers went to college and got useless degrees in Oriental handpan music, right? And Vietnamese curtain weaving and women's studies and a lot of other stuff that doesn't have any practical application to the real world. So hate on Elon Musk if you want, but the man has a point. The man has a point. Again, 855-839-1210 over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Let's get to our first guest of the evening because I want to talk about New Jersey a little bit more. You're just going to have to suffer it, by the way, if you're already tired of it. You're just going to have to put up with it. I don't know what to tell you. It's extremely important. We're going to talk about Jersey. And then in 2026, we're going to shift back across the river. We're going to talk a ton about Pennsylvania. It's going to be a give and a take here. Just stay along for the ride and do your part, folks. Peter Cordy, though, is the homepage editor for the Washington Examiner. I know you're familiar with that website. It's one of our nation's leading national conservative papers of record online. He's also a prior contributor to the Beltway Confidential blog. He got his start in journalism, writing for Campus Reform following his graduation from Rutgers University with a degree in political science. And his reporting's been featured all over cable news. You've seen him on Fox News. You've seen his work on Fox News, Newsmax, National Review, and so on. So we're happy to have him here tonight on the Matt Rooney Show to talk about his latest piece on the New Jersey gubernatorial race. So without further ado, Peter Cordy, welcome to the Matt Rooney Show and to 1210 WPHT. Appreciate you joining us, man.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming, and thanks for sharing your article the other day with me. I am stoked, I have to tell you, and as a graduate of Rutgers, I know you know where I'm coming from. New Jersey so often gets ignored, partially because we have these weird odd-year elections. Also, let's face it, a lot of people outside of Jersey just assume we're hopelessly blue. So when I saw your article, not only was it very interesting, and we're going to get into that, but I'm just so stoked to see the national conservative media establishment paying attention to Jersey this year. Do you think it's just you, or do you get the sense from interacting with your colleagues that everyone is ready to dig into the Garden State in 2025?
Oh, no, all eyes are on Jersey in 2025. And to be honest, I don't think anyone was really expecting Trump to be within 15, 20 points of Harris. Instead, he was within 6 points. That was a huge deal. I felt that energy when I was covering the Wildwood rally. I mean, over 100,000 people there. I saw it firsthand. I thought that this would be closer even than it was. And it was just incredible to see. But Republicans have a lot of reasons to be optimistic in 2025. Obviously, Trump came as close as any Republican since George Bush in 1992 to taking New Jersey. So that's huge. You have a huge rightward shift. You have a really electable slate of Republican candidates this year. You have the incumbency factor where, Murphy's termed out, right? He has his 2 terms, but the entire state of New Jersey hangs on the Democrats right now. And it's not going well. It's really not. U-Haul just put out a list of states ranked by their net gain or loss of one-way movers in the last year. And New Jersey ranked 3rd worst on that list. Obviously, California was the worst, but you had states with Republican governors all the way at the top of the list, like in Texas and Florida, South Carolina. So there's that factor. And maybe the number one factor, the number one reason why New Jerseyans should be optimistic and why a huge national focus is on New Jersey is the Scott Pressler factor. Scott Pressler, he was the guy who ran around Pennsylvania like a chicken with his head cut off, registering voters Republican, flipping counties, and was credited by Lara Trump and many other Republicans with flipping Pennsylvania and its 19 electoral votes for President Trump. So that's just a lot of reasons to be optimistic if you're a Republican in New Jersey.
We've been feeling it here for a while. And look, I get it. Being on the ground in the Garden State, it's where I've lived my entire life, except for a brief stint when I left state for college. You maybe pick up on some things before others do. But South Jersey's been reddening for a while. The rally you just cited in Wildwood, the energy was incredible. The left mocked some of the estimates of the crowd size at the time, but I had never seen anything like that in New Jersey, and I've been following politics for a good number of years. And now, as I think you very correctly say, Peter, people are focusing on New Jersey, and there is a bench. There is a bench that's interested in getting involved in this race, or at least considering getting involved in this gubernatorial contest. There are 4 declared major candidates at the moment. One is John Bramnick, who's a state senator. There's Bill Spadia, who is a radio host at another station. There's Jack Ciattarelli, who was the nominee in 2021. And Ed the trucker, who is a former state senator who made headlines back in 2021 for defeating the then incumbent Senate president. You talk to 2 of the candidates, and you say right at the top of your article, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head from the start, the race to be the GOP nominee in the next New Jersey governor's race may come down to who has the best relationship with Washington, D.C. You tell me right now, which of these candidates do you think has the best inside track with MAGA nationally?
So if you ask New Jersey Republicans, they're pretty split between Spadia and Durr. If you're looking at the MAGA wing of New Jersey Republicans, your more moderate centrist candidates are Ciattarelli and Bramnick. Bramnick, very much a never Trumper from the beginning. He doesn't hide that. He's pretty much the only guy not really jockeying for that position of being a Trump guy. Ciattarelli started off as a never Trumper in 2016, softened things in 2021, and now he and Spadia have been kind of trading blows at who is more loyal to Trump at this point.
Right, Jack criticized Trump in the past, and then I think Spadia maybe a couple years ago said something to the effect of he didn't think Trump should run again. So you're right. Right now they're having a contest, a hair-pulling contest over who is more loyal to President Trump.
Exactly, and so the only one out of the declared candidates who's never really wavered on Trump is Durr, but Durr is the most long-shot candidate. The big deal for Republicans is that they need to select a candidate with a realistic shot at the general election, but also one that reflects their views. Now, that's not to count Durr out. You mentioned that he beat Sweeney. That was a huge upset, and he was the Senate president at the time. So there's no counting Durr out, but right now he is the most long-shot candidate. So you have Bill Spadia, who right now is kind of the MAGA champion at this point. But another wild card in this is Mike Crispy, who hasn't declared, but he has launched an exploratory committee. The reason why he's such a big wild card is if there is going to be a candidate in the primary that gets Trump's endorsement, that's going to hold a lot of weight. And he has the best relationship with Trump and Giuliani and Roger Stone and others in MAGA world out of the whole field. Even after the article was published, Roger Stone shared that article and posted that he hopes that Crispy runs for governor. So And obviously, you know how close Stone and Trump are, and you know how he has his ear. So it'll be really interesting to see if Crispy does declare officially, because it'll be between him and Spadia really for that nomination, or for the endorsement most likely. And yes, so Spadia did say, he called Trump a failure. He said that he didn't want Trump to run. Later on, Trump appeared on Spadia's broadcast and praised him for standing by him from the beginning. But after that, Politico came out with a report, and an anonymous pro-Chitterelli Republican, so take it with a grain of salt, said that Trump was unaware of the extent to which Spadia criticized him at the time, and that it doesn't really sit well with him. So I wonder where things stand between Spadia and Trump at this point, but that is something to consider.
It's fascinating, yeah. And of course, Spadia, his general consultant is Bill Stepien, who at one time was Donald Trump's campaign manager and White House political director. On the other side of the coin, you have Kellyanne Conway, who everybody knows who Kellyanne is, who's reportedly one of the forces behind a pro-Chitterelli super PAC that's been attacking Bill Spadia. So as you correctly have picked up on, Peter, Trump world is all kind of mixed up in this 2025 primary race and where it lands as of today. I couldn't tell you, and I follow this as closely as anyone. Shameless plug, everyone. I said it last episode of the Matt Rooney Show. On February 4th, I will be a co-host and one of the panelists for the first Republican gubernatorial debate of 2025 at Rider University. We'll be broadcasting it online. More information to follow. We should try to get you up there for that one, Peter, so you can cover it. It should be a barn burner.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, and you're not wrong about Mike Crispy, too. I'll tell you, as we run down on time here, the thing I like about Mike Crispy, regardless of whether Mike gets in, he is advocating for America First values, and I think he's successfully forcing all of the candidates to address those principles, which you know are so important to Donald Trump supporters in New Jersey, the people that Republicans need to turn out in 2025. If everyone that showed up for President Trump in 2024 in New Jersey just gets off their keisters and shows up at the polls this upcoming November, the Republican nominee, whoever they are, is going to win. Peter, I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight. We're so grateful not only for your journalism, but also that you're paying so close attention to New Jersey. Tell us where we can find you online.
Sure. You could find me on Twitter at Peter Cordy, PeterCordi, or you could check out my page at thewashingtonexaminer.com, and that's where you can find me.
Amazing. Yeah, and I'm going to retweet the article again, folks. It's Washington Examiner, New Jersey governor's race may come down to MAGA wildcard factory. He's also got a great discussion with Scott Pressler, who we've obviously had on this station many times. Definitely make sure you check it out. Peter Cordy, everyone, homepage editor of the Washington Examiner. Peter, thanks for coming on. Don't be a stranger, sir.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Matt Rooney Show, ladies and gentlemen. Quick break. Back with more in a sec.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Luigi's not getting any Swedish fish in the joint. Luigi has for breakfast a choice of fruits, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee.
We have to remember, as these dummies on News Nation are like, hi, everybody, there's a person dead. It's, again, this idol worship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see him? Is he watching? Like, they're giddy schoolgirls. Ugh.
Goes back to the big take this morning, the violence of the left, the irrelevance of the media.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Dan is not nearly as angry a guy as his music would suggest. I just want to throw that out there. For anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of knowing you.
No, I'm not.
You're pretty happy. You're pretty friendly.
Yeah, this is more what I listen to on a daily. Surprisingly.
Mangle Mush over on YouTube loves it, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who actually enjoy my music, and there's some people who just don't. But this is more of what I listen to on a daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the risk of being a little mushy, Mangle Mushy, I just appreciate you, my friend. And this is part of who you are, and I accept you. Because #tolerance.
DEI.
DEI. Yo, you've got a Kale & Company banner behind you. How did I not even notice that?
I don't know.
It's because I can't see the Kale part.
No.
I mean, I should have, it says 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. There's only one show on the station from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I mean, you're also in the studio when you came in today, so like.
Yeah, no, I'm on my own planet, in my own world. Right? No surprise there. Back on the Matt Rooney Show, happy to hear from our new friend Peter Cordy in the last segment from the Washington Examiner. I keep telling you guys, one of the ways in which this upcoming cycle is different is that you have a lot of national media paying attention to the Garden State races, which is unique. Normally, they don't pay any attention to what's happening in New Jersey. They focus primarily on Virginia. And if you recall back in 2021, when all the polls showed Jack Ciattarelli, who was the nominee that year, losing by 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, he ultimately only lost to Phil Murphy by 3. The media gave all of the arguments from folks like yours truly on the ground not very much weight. They didn't afford very much weight to those protestations from people like me at all, saying, hey, listen, this race could be close. You really should be cluing in. So with the media on the good side of the aisle tuning in early, it's not just a matter of us reading things that we want to hear. Donors clue in. Outside interests that can help us here on the ground start to pay attention. I know Peter mentioned Scott Pressler. I mentioned him earlier. There's actually an event that Scott's holding in Wildwood coming up next week. Scott is traveling around New Jersey raising money so he can try to replicate something like his voter registration operation you saw in Pennsylvania here in New Jersey. I'm sure we'll get him on this program soon to talk about his progress. He will not be the last development that you hear about on this front. I can promise you that. And yours truly, being well networked and plugged in, may know more than I can tell you right now. But I promise you, when I can talk about some of these very exciting, promising things, I will. But you need to know this. The cavalry is coming. I can't promise you victory, but I think this cycle is going to be a little different than anything we've seen in a good long time. It's all good stuff, folks. Again, 855-839-1210 is our number over on YouTube, youtube.com/@ 1210 WPHT. Hello, Margaret. Margaret is in the chat. She says, Matt, you have a new banner behind you. That's right. We're going to unveil the Dan, the producer statue, I think, in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. It's actually
It's
new.
Huge.
It's actually it's me and you actually together, and we're best buds, and it's a picture of us acting like we're cool, so it's always going to be here in spirit.
We're riding a bicycle built for two.
Yep. We're
Yep.
showing off our tramp stamps.
We're both wearing crop tops.
Yep.
He has a Batman tramp stamp, and mine is a 1210 WPHT.
Yep.
But where the kind of loop on the P should be, it's actually Stalker's head.
Correct.
So it's very, very. I can't even get it out.
Mayor Pete.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, that's why I went with the get it.
There it is.
Mayor Pete. Yeah.
Mayor Pete.
Yeah, we went to a lactation class, and then we went out and got matching tattoos.
Lactation class.
Before he leaves office.
That was a good class, by the way.
Yeah, it was good, right?
This is a great class.
All right, let's move on with the show, right? Before we get ourselves in more trouble than we're already in. We played the clip earlier in this hour of Kamala Harris messing up our Pledge of Allegiance. I can't even I don't know why I'm still surprised. I should say before we go any further that somebody's complaining about my pronunciation of Kamala's name over on X.
Cool.
Johnny says, if you're going to mock Kamala Harris for saying stupid things, you shouldn't do it when you don't even know how to pronounce her name. I got news for you, Johnny. I don't care how to pronounce that commie's name. She doesn't matter anymore. So I'll call her whatever I'd like to call her.
Is there really a difference between Kamala and Kamala?
Who cares? I've heard her pronounce it multiple different ways.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the whole joke of it, right?
it's
Somewhere along
like-
the way, they decided that even though she's pronounced it different ways, there's only one pronunciation, so they can call people like me whatever they want to call me. Not playing the game anymore.
Like, I don't think there's a set way. It's like Kamala, they're spelled the same way. It's just different, like tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato.
No matter what you want to call her, she's still an idiot.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm sorry you got your panties twisted, Johnny. You're just going to have to deal with it, bub.
He's probably going to stop listening now because it's not an open forum.
This isn't an open forum. I mean, what do you want out of this show? Everybody gets to call it and say whatever they want. Get your own show. Get your own scrawny, bespeckled producer.
Oh, now I got to find it. I don't know where it is.
What are you looking for?
How dare they?
No,
How dare you?
Not
I
that
hold you in
one.
contempt.
Not that one. I can't find it. Never mind. I was going to do a little, a bit, but.
A little.
I think I'll do a wraparound.
Yeah, I can't find it.
One of them? Okay.
Can't find it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You tried. You tried.
Oh, I know.
That's
I
all
found
that
it.
matters.
I found it. So, like.
You get a participation trophy.
When the guy called, he was like, I'm not going to listen to your show anymore. I said, okay, that's fine. That's how I hung up the phone.
Goodbye!
And then he hung up.
Goodbye.
That's exactly what he said.
Snowflakes everywhere, man.
Okay.
But there are still some out there in Kamala land. Kamala, did you hear me, Johnny?
Kamala.
That are clinging to the hope that she's going to make a comeback. This is Kamala advisor Simone Sanders-Townsend. I'm going to say something extremely offensive to some of you, but you're just going to have to deal with it. Obviously, this is an overgeneralization. But when we are playing a clip or citing an article from a woman in politics or about a woman in politics and she's got a hyphenated last name, right? There's just an increased risk that we're going to hear something really woke or ridiculous, right? And I want to be clear about something because we have Dan here who's our resident Latinx advisor. I'm not talking about someone because of like longstanding family or ethnic tradition has a hyphenated last name, right? I'm talking about somebody that decided to do it because they think that somehow taking their husband or their partner's last name is a sign that they are like subservient to the patriarchy, okay? But it's one of the things that you can use kind of as a litmus test to find out in advance whether or not you're going to hear something absurd. So this is cut number 3, Sanders-Townsend. She says Kamala isn't going away.
I don't think the world has seen the last of Vice President Kamala Harris. I don't know how she will show up again, but she is a young politician who garnered over 75 million votes in this election, and she will be back. When it comes to Donald Trump and his presidency, I know a lot of folks are like, Donald Trump has a lot of bluster. We need to wait and see what he will do. We have seen what he has done, and while I think it would be wrong for people to make big predictions about his presidency, I think people need to pay attention to what he says and what he actually does and judge him on that, not some fantasy land we think we live in.
Oh, my God. We accidentally agree. So let's give you some context. This individual is appearing on MSNBC, a network which for the entirety of Donald Trump's time in presidential politics, going back to, 2015, right, was telling us that he's a Nazi, he's Hitler, he's the Antichrist, he's going to destroy our democracy, he's going to, essentially do every possible nasty thing that the head of a nation state could possibly perpetrate if he is given the reins of power. Now, all of a sudden, this guest is telling us, as the MSNBC host is nodding along, it'd be wrong to make sweeping judgments about what Donald Trump might do. Let's judge him by what he actually does. Isn't that what we've been asking for? Again, back to 2015, to let the man's record be the rubric by which you judge him? Because, again, I don't want to relitigate the 2024 election because it's over, but he did a pretty good job in that first term. But for COVID, which he's not the one that let it out of the lab in China, over there in
China,
there really isn't anything objectionable. But they did anyway because the advancement of leftism is all that has ever mattered. So, accidentally, not a bad idea there, and some decent advice for certainly MSNBC listeners and everyone well beyond that is on the left. Why don't you give this guy a chance as we close in on Inauguration Day? Just 15 days away now. Forget what you think you know about the Orange Man. Accept the fact that his first administration actually, notwithstanding many challenges, lots of attempts to sabotage him from the inside and the outside, it actually went pretty darn well. And there are plenty of reasons to be extremely optimistic about what is to come over the course of the next 4 years. I can say one thing for sure, without any fear on my part of being made a fool of when somebody goes and pulls this soundbite up in a year or 2 or 4. We cannot do worse than we are currently doing. Because you have a president who has not only been wrong about everything for his entire public career, but he isn't even lucid most of the time. This is a man who they couldn't wake up on the tarmac in his plane when they were unloading the bodies of dead American soldiers, and their weeping, mourning families were waiting for like 3 hours. The fact that we have a president who knows what day of the week it is, can remember what he had for breakfast, and has a track record of success. And oh, by the way, being right about many of the most controversial subjects of our time, pretty good chance that it's going to be morning in America again before too long. Is inflation going to be brought to heel in an instant? No. Rome wasn't built in a day. Is every single hotspot around the world immediately going to cool? Perhaps not overnight. But we'll get on the right track. We'll get back on the right track, and we will rebuild this country. We will be strong again. We will be respected again. And most importantly, when you're talking about a president, the world will take the man in the Oval Office seriously again. That is the most important attribute of any president. Is it's someone that Putin and the Chinese and the North Koreans and our enemies abroad and other places, and even our allies, right, which aren't always very reliable Is it someone that when he says something, when he threatens something, when he promises something, when he makes a point, they stand at attention and recognize that, hey, this is something that needs to be paid attention to. This is someone who we should take seriously and not assume that he's going to forget about it after nap time. Reason for optimism. I know I'm optimistic. You should be too. We always are here on the Matt Rooney Show. 855-839-1210. Again, over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Margarita over on the YouTube page says, Matt looks like a lumberjack. Do I look like a lumberjack?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably plenty of unflattering things you can say about me, and I'm not saying there's anything unflattering about being a lumberjack, but I'm not wearing, like, plaid or buffalo check or anything.
You're just not insanely ripped, so that's the thing, too.
Well, I'm kind of mushy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be more ripped, but I don't know what to tell you. I got the dad bod these days.
It's hot. Dude, dad bods are actually in. There's a lot.
It demonstrates that I can feed myself.
Right.
I mean, I'm spoken for, right?
Right, but there's a lot of girls my age who are going more for the dad bod than they are like fit man, which is fine. You know, either is fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate for you because
I don't fall into any of those categories.
I was going to say your body type is more like 10-year-old girl. So
I would say more like 12, but
12?
That's fine.
Well, I don't know.
I eat like dinosaur
unfortunately,
chicken
many
nuggets.
of them are developing much quicker these days because all the hormones that RFK Jr. is trying to get out of our food.
I mean, my daily diet is like dinosaur chicken nuggets and taquitos, but you know, it is what it is.
What is a taquito?
Taquitos?
Oh, a taquito.
It's just taquitos.
Taquito.
Right, because you say the Q, taquitos.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, I forgot to mention for any of our new listeners, there are plenty of you out there. Dan is like 1/16 Hispanic.
1/8.
Yeah. Elizabeth Warren is more Native American than Dan is Hispanic, but we still go with it. Right? Because it's 2025. You can be whatever you want to be, like Bill Nye said.
I want to be a female right now, so you got to refer to me as she.
Right, and I want to be a velociraptor. I want to have cool little claws and be able to open kitchen doors and jump on counters like in that scene in Jurassic Park. So why can't I be? You've never seen Jurassic Park?
Nope.
How have we never stumbled upon that? You've never seen Jurassic Park?
Nope.
All right, let's go to
There's a lot of movies I haven't seen, buddy.
There's a lot of things you don't know, Daniel.
Yep.
There are many things you don't know. Again, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. One more break, then we'll be back with the third and final hour of the Matt Rooney Show. Plenty more ahead. We've got Twit Talk. Dan Cerrucci with his list of 25 people that need to get lost in 2025 and so much more here on 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Phil Almquist giving the Kale and Company flag to Jeremy. He's the recipient for the week.
You promise you'll fly it on your truck and you'll return it next week.
100%.
Okay. All right.
You have other people in the hopper stocker, so to speak, or how can people
I do, yeah.
request the flag?
Probably won't be till January until you can do it, but we have other people. If you want to fly the flag high on your truck or house or whatever, you have to display it. It can't sit in the back of your truck like it did for Kale. Send me an email, greg.stocker@odyssey.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Albert the Great Church on Welsh Road in Huntington Valley, Saturday, January 11th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right? Well, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating you, so save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Orosine for more energy. Whatever your health goals are, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use the code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements. Use that code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
That's why I don't go online without connecting to NordVPN. I don't want anyone stealing my personal information and snooping on my browsing activity. Also, TechRadar named NordVPN as the most trusted VPN by casual users and experts. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard your devices from phishing websites. Scan downloads for malicious files and disable intrusive ads and trackers so you can surf more safely online. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. By the way, you can protect up to 10 devices with one account. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back, old friends, new frenemies, and all who lie elsewhere in between on the spectrum that is life. I am Matt Rooney on the eve of Snowpocalypse numero uno of 2025. Do you have your milk? Do you have your bread? Do you have your eggs? I sure hope so.
Nope.
Well, when you only eat dinosaur chicken nuggets, Dan, none of those things are of a concern to you anyway.
I have other things like mac and cheese.
We started out tonight's show talking about you showing up at my house for tomorrow's snow day. And I was concerned because I didn't think you and my son would want to watch the same things on TV. But you have the exact same diet.
Great.
So this could work out. I've got tons of mac and cheese. I've got dinosaur chicken nuggets. You want an applesauce pouch? I've got them.
But I do want a side of filet mignon.
Actually, strangely enough, I do have some of that.
I'm not going to ask why, but
because I made a fillet for Mrs. Rooney on Friday night.
So where's my fillet?
Well, I didn't know that you wanted one. You know, I would love to in the new year have you and Bella over for dinner.
Okay.
Would
Cool.
you guys come over for dinner if I made you dinner sometime?
Yes, you would just have to give us a heads up because she works pretty much every single day except Fridays.
Well, you recognize that I wouldn't lean out my window at 5 o'clock and say, Dan, do you want to come to dinner?
I don't know.
Blow on a conch shell.
I don't know what you would do. Maybe you would. I don't know. I'm not going to put it past you. But
No. At my stage of the game, everything has to be planned out weeks in advance too.
Yeah.
Because we've got kids sports, we've got all the stuff. So it would have to be well in advance.
She also doesn't eat meat, by the way.
Okay, so you do. So I just would have to make a vegetarian dish for her.
She eats fish.
So she's what do they call that? A pescatarian?
I guess it's a pescatarian. Yeah.
That's what Dom Giordano is. Dom's a pescatarian.
Yeah. So
He doesn't eat chicken or beef, but he'll eat fish.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can do that. I can make a mean salmon.
Salmon's delightful.
I can prepare salmon pretty well. Is that would she eat salmon?
I don't know. Probably.
Well, maybe we'll have salmon, and then I'll get a fillet for you and I, and we can kind of Lady in the Tramp style. We can, have some noodles with it, and then.
I don't want Mrs. Rooney to get jealous at that. That's all I'm saying. I don't want her to look over and be like, "Wow, they're really
connecting. They're really vibing.
They're really they're really vibing. I don't know. I'm not trying to steal her man,
Woo, and then start making noises at each other.
Right.
I actually am aroused by him.
I'm not going to say that. Could. And we can reminisce about the good old days.
The good old days.
Yep.
All right, well, let's see. Maybe we can do that in 2025. If nothing else, it would give us a full show's worth of the material.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun. We're also going back down to Cape May for the week in July. So.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to Beachcomber, I think it's called.
The Beachcomber, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we should definitely plan on meeting up down there. I guess it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
that I met up with you and Bella and your parents.
Yep.
At
Cape May Brewing.
Cape May Brewing, yeah, which was really great. It's in Lower Township, and we had a great time. I enjoyed meeting them. They're much more enjoyable people than you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take it as a compliment.
You should.
I'm not going to take
it. You should also accept it as a challenge because you need to step it up because you came from great people. So quit slumming it, my man.
I'm not going to take anything negative you say anymore. This is me putting my foot down.
Is that your New Year's resolution?
I don't really have one. I started doing my New Year's resolution before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It's doing 10 push-ups a night. It's kind of stupid. But I have been doing them.
You've been doing them?
I have been doing them daily. Yes.
God, can I do 10 push-ups
right before I go to bed? I always do them. And I think I missed total 3 days so far, but I have been on top of it pretty much.
We should start every show by doing 3 push-ups because then you get 3 out of the way.
Well, no, I would just add the 3 on.
Okay. Yeah, I need to start moving in 2025. That's something that's definitely on my list. I don't eat that poorly. I'm not pounding snacks and putting, Velveeta cheese on everything. It's just my life, right? I'm a lawyer. I'm on the radio. I'm hanging out with my kids. Unless I'm chasing them around or changing a diaper or something, I'm not moving a lot, and that's not great.
Well,
Being stationary is very bad for your health.
I will have you know.
The fact of the week.
That each year, it is estimated that 80% of New Year's resolutions are abandoned by February.
Oh, I'm surprised people make it that long.
That's what it says. There you go.
I'd imagine more than 50% don't even launch. You concoct it on New Year's Eve, and then you just never follow through at all.
And if you want a bonus fact for you,
I would love one.
The most common resolution people make is to get healthier.
No, I also believe that.
Yes.
And not only for obvious reasons, but also you just lived through the holiday season where you're smashing cakes and cookies and you're drinking more than you normally do, probably if you drink.
Yes.
There's a natural desire to detox in January.
Dry January?
Dry January.
That doesn't happen. That's not a thing.
No, it does. People do it. People do the dry January. Well, those were really good facts. And yet a bonus one. Well done, young man. Well done.
Thank you. I'm getting better at this.
Have you heard? Well, eventually you'll be ready for radio. We'll get you on a top 10 station and,
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Trump had a New Year's resolution. Reporters asked him at his party at Mar-a-Lago on New Year's Eve what he wanted in the new year. It's going to be obviously quite a big year for him and for everyone else. And here's what the Trumpster had to say. The president-elect cut dose.
Have you got any New Year's resolutions for 2025?
Well, I just want everybody to be happy, healthy, and well. Thank you.
I want everybody to be happy, healthy, and well. It sums it up, though, right? Happy, healthy, and well. I'm sure RFK Jr. agreed with that. Emphasis on the well. I can't wait to see this whole cabinet get down to business, too. There's been so much anticipation surrounding this dream team the president has put together. And now we're only 2 weeks away from seeing all of this work and all this chatter and all this discussion come to fruition. It's very exciting.
Did he ever find a replacement for Matt Gaetz? Or am I just out of the loop?
For Matt Gaetz? Oh, yeah. No, Pam Bondi.
That's what. Okay.
Who we've had on the show before.
That's
from Florida.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, the great Pam Bondi, former Attorney General of the state of Florida.
Yep, I was paying attention. I just forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, so, some have speculated that maybe that was the plan all along, and I have no inside information there. I mean, Trump ain't no dummy. He had to know that Matt Gaetz was going to be a lightning rod for criticism. So maybe Trump thought, you know what? Best case scenario, he gets through, and I have a rock-solid ally who I can trust is going to be a disruptor. Worst case scenario, he can take the flack, he can take the heat, and when he inevitably moves on and gets a TV show, which he's ultimately done, and makes some money, I'll be able to slip somebody else in. And that's what's happening.
Do you think that his trial before his inauguration is going to go anywhere?
You mean the sentencing? Yeah. No, no. This is what that's all about. So for those who don't know, Donald Trump's only remaining prosecution, because everything else is dissolved or been dismissed voluntarily after he won the election. Donald Trump is going to be sentenced in New York for that particular prosecution, for which it resulted in a conviction. I believe it's January 10th. So that's coming up later this week. Judge Merchan has postponed it more than once. Now he's going to sentence the President of the United States, or the President-elect of the United States, just 10 days before Inauguration Day. He's already signaled that he's not going to send Donald Trump to jail. That was the left's dream of dreams, right? They wanted to see Donald Trump wearing an orange jumpsuit at Rikers Island or wherever it was in New York. They were going to ultimately send him. That's not going to happen. Here's what will happen. You are technically not a felon until you're sentenced. So Donald Trump is convicted of these crimes in New York State. You and I know that it's bogus, but for the purposes of this academic discussion, he's been convicted, but you don't become a felon until you're actually sentenced. So now, on the, for all intents and purposes, eve of Inauguration Day, mere days before, Donald Trump will officially become a felon. And obviously the judge knows what he's doing, and he is attempting to give his side of the aisle ammo that they can use against this president so that they have something to talk about heading into Inauguration Day other than the fact that the Trumpster just spanked them in the Electoral College. They're going to say, well, he's becoming president, but it's with an asterisk because he's the first felon officially to take the oath of office and ascend to the Oval Office. This is going to be appealed. I think there is a decent chance that Donald Trump can succeed on appeal. But for now, they will have their little meaningless victory. I don't think that they've learned anything, Daniel, from the 2024 experience. There is not a single person on the planet, forget the United States, on the planet, whose opinion of Donald Trump is going to be changed by him officially becoming what most people probably already think he is anyway, because they're not attorneys. They don't get how this stuff works, right? Most people haven't gone through a criminal prosecution. So they're assuming that he's already a felon. Didn't stop him from winning one of the greatest victories, mounting one of the greatest comebacks in American political history. And if anything, we know that all of these prosecutions and persecutions of Donald Trump only made him more popular, only advanced his cause. We had suspected at the time that that was a likely side effect. That was a likely outcome. But we weren't sure. Election day verified that indeed that's what happened. So do you think that Donald Trump is going to be less popular because he's getting hauled into a New York courtroom and officially turned into a felon and assessed some kind of fine, and the judge says something whiny and passive-aggressive on the record about how naughty he is? I doubt it. I think that the American people are going to once again draw the correct conclusion, which is that once again the left and the justice system that they've weaponized has the wrong priorities. We just got attacked on our own soil by ISIS. Can we talk about this for a second? It isn't getting the attention it deserves. And even scarier and spookier is that this may be an active cell. There might be more to come. That's not some crazy conspiracy theory. You're reading the headlines and following these stories just the same as I am. We've got persistently high inflation. This country's got a lot of problems. And yet this is once again what the left wants to focus on. Persecuting Donald Trump for essentially messing up paperwork, something that ends up being a misdemeanor at most for anyone else that's ever been charged with these offenses. But in this case, they turned it into a felony prosecution because they wanted to make a political point. The American people recognize this at this point for what it is. They recognize it as politics. Ugly, base, not attached to the priorities of the people who are hurting in this country politics. And they're not going to take kindly to it. It's only going to help Donald Trump moving forward, as much as it disgusts me as an attorney. So, very long answer to short question, Daniel, which unfortunately only kind that I give. But, hey, listen, I can talk. That's why I'm on the radio, right? 855-839-1210. Again, over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Plenty of activity over there. Tony is now in the chat. Hello, Tony. Lots of people chatting tonight. Glad everyone's having fun. Tony says he's watching the Golden Globes. So at least one person is tuned into the Golden Globes. Denzel's up for an award. I only know that because Dan told me that in hour number one. Other than that, I have no idea. I've not watched an award show in 15 years. I did see the clip of a certain Hollywood star smacking Chris Rock. But that's the closest I've come. You're listening to the Matt Rooney Show, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, so much more, including Dan Cerrucci and his 25 people that need to go away in 2025. It's going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss it here on 1210.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
The Eagles beat the Giants in their final regular season game. They host the Packers in the wild card round next week. The region is expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow Monday morning, and President Biden travels to New Orleans Monday to mourn the people killed in the New Year's truck attack.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Ooh. Heavy.
All right, so before we get to Dan Cerrucci, we have a very important question relating back to something that I've been repping here on the radio. I'm co-hosting, and I'm a panelist for the first Republican gubernatorial debate of 2025 in New Jersey. Jack Ciattarelli, Bill Spadia, Ed Durr, and John Bramnick have all agreed to participate, co-hosting along with David Wildstein of the New Jersey Globe. They're going to have it at Rider University up near Trenton in the Dirty Jers. And Chris over on X said, "Hey, Matt, another great show." Thank you, Chris. "I'm just checking in to see if the February 4th Rider gubernatorial debate will have an audience, and if so, how tickets would be obtained." Very good question. What I think I may end up doing, and I need to speak to the powers that be about the whole thing as well as my debate co-host, I'd like to give some tickets away, but we have to figure out how to do that.
I believe it's possible.
Yeah, we got to have a talk chat about that offline.
However, actually no, because it should be fine. I think we talked to Greg about it. We should in promotions.
Yeah,
it should be fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm going to look into it. If we don't do it here, we may do it through my website, SaveJersey.com. But I will say this, Chris, the audience is going to be limited. There's not going to be 500 people in the audience. Okay, so there will be limited tickets. But I would like, and I do enjoy the idea of opening up some limited seats to some SaveJersey.com readers, some fans of the Matt Rooney Show. So let me get back to you on that. Let's put a pin in that for now. I know that's not a complete answer, but it's something that I'm working on. So TBD. Stay tuned. 855-839-1210 is the number. Over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Let's talk to one of my favorite Jersey guys who we've got on the line. He is a frequent guest of this program. He is poetic with his prose, whether he's writing about politics, culture, Broadway. Everything interests this man because he is an interesting man, and he is a very good friend of mine. We regularly share his work over on SaveJersey.com. He is Dan Cerrucci, proprietor of DanCerrucci.com, and he joins us on the Matt Rooney Show. Good evening, Daniel. How are you?
I'm just fine, Matt. Good evening, and thank you for having me once again. It's always a pleasure.
No, the pleasure is mine, and I'm assuming if you are not traveling on one of your fantastic trips, we'll have you up at the gubernatorial debate on February 4th.
Oh, I would love to be there. I will not be traveling. I will be around, and I would love to be there.
Well, make sure that's on your calendar for two reasons. One, because you're not only one of the Garden State's best conservative journalists, right? But also, since I'm actually going to be on the stage, somebody needs to be writing about it while I'm asking questions. So we gotta get you there. There's more than one reason, and at least one of them's utilitarian. So
okay,
but make sure that's on your calendar, my man. So let's take a step back though and talk about one of my favorite Dan Cerrucci traditions. You have a list every year that you do of 25 people to watch. And when I was filling in for Rich Zioli over the holidays, we had you on to talk about that. And it's a great list. It's very interesting. Being the insightful guy you are, it always makes you think as we run through and also laugh. But I have to tell you, my favorite list is the 25 people who should get lost. And, of course, this year it's 25 because we are in 2025. I don't think there are many names on here that are objectionable. I even spoke to Dan Valdez, our producer, here about it before you came on tonight, and he can usually find something to criticize in everything. And he thought it was pretty good. That's the producer Dan stamp of approval. So let's get busy here again in no particular order. This one is arguably the most obvious name on the list, Sean Diddy Combs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said it was, the more I heard about it, the more repulsive and disgusting it became. And, I don't know a lot about pop culture, that is about young up-and-coming talent. I'm not even sure he's in that category anymore, and that's Justin Bieber. But, whatever went on between Diddy and Justin Bieber and however it may have impacted Justin, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, the whole situation. And again, the fact that the liberal culture, the powers that be, people knew about this, and they said nothing, apparently. And, I mean, it's awful.
It is awful. And I think one of the most horrendous, disturbing, whatever superlative you want to attach to it, aspects of this whole Diddy scandal is how many people, including maybe Bieber, right, if you believe what's been speculated, are afraid to speak out. Everyone was terrified of the power that this man exercised in that industry, in the music industry, very much akin to the power that Harvey Weinstein wielded in the cinema, in the movie industry. And, once again, all these lefties, right, we're constantly hearing about toxic Republican males. Almost every time someone gets snagged for something like this, they're a Democrat donor, not a Republican. I'm not saying there aren't pervs on the Republican side of the aisle, but it seems like Democrats are the ones that feel empowered to be able to get away with it. Someone else you have on your list who is loathsome for different reasons, George Stephanopoulos, that pint-sized gremlin who famously worked for the Clintons back in the day, and despite the fact that he worked for Bill and Hillary Clinton, somehow thinks he has moral high ground?
I don't understand, I don't get what it is about these diminutive little imps, okay, like Stephanopoulos, of whom I said, I know how to spell your name, I just don't know when to stop. And you don't know when to stop either. You would have quit already. He pretends to be a journalist. He's not a journalist. He never was a journalist. He's a partisan. And he's a Clintonista. That's what he is, basically. It's what he's always been. That's how he got where he is. And he's pompous and disgusting. I don't know how he gets away with it.
He is. He's pompous. He's disgusting, and you hit the nail on the head. He's not a real journalist. And if there's nothing else that comes out of 2024, let it be that we stop assigning to trolls like George Stephanopoulos any seriousness. To your point, he's not a journalist. He's a Democrat operative. Many of these guys and gals hanging around the legacy media outlets, that's what they are. And when we pretend there's something more than they are, then it's self-defeating for those of us that want real, honest, true news. Speaking of the quasi-news industry and the entertainment culture, another name that made it to your list this year is Oprah.
Yeah, we got to keep Oprah. We got to keep Oprah.
Producer Dan wants to keep Oprah. Why don't you want her to go away?
Because there's a specific part about Oprah that's part of my childhood. She's part of Drake and Josh. And the part that sticks out to me relatively, in a good part is when Josh is like, "You ran over Oprah!" And Oprah's there just getting run over by a car. So we should definitely keep her.
What is Drake and Josh?
Drake and Josh?
What's Drake and Josh?
Oh, my gosh.
We've got 3 generations right now on the radio. We've got we've got Boomer, Millennial, and Gen Z. I have no idea, Dan Cerrucci, what he's talking about.
No, neither do I.
You know what? That's fine. Completely forget everything I just said. Let's move on with the list.
No, don't forget it. You have to play it for me later. Being a millennial, I remember it's 4:00 where everybody's gone. Oprah's on. She was a fixture of your house.
Right.
If you were lucky enough to grow up with your mom in the 90s, and she's thrown it all away.
I thought that I didn't expect to put Oprah on the list this year. I thought, we were finally in, and for a while now, in the post-Oprah age, okay? And it was a relief. It was really nice. But then she got involved in this campaign with Kamala, and she made this, apparently netted $2 million or more. And I said, you know what? When is enough, Oprah? And so there she is on the list.
And of all the names on the list that were going to trigger producer Dan, I did not guess Oprah. I did not think that was the deal he was going to die on. Maybe he's still hoping she's going to put a gift under his seat or something.
No, there's other ones on here that will trigger me more.
Really? Well, why don't you tell us, Dan?
No, I'm good. We can go down the list.
No. We're not going in any order.
No, I need you to do. I have things lined up, so I need you to say them. I can't tee it up myself because I have a plan. I know what the gag is.
He knows what the gag is.
Right.
He's actually producing, Dan Cerrucci.
Okay.
All right. Well, God help us here.
I'll go with the flow here.
Justin Trudeau made your list at the surprise of no one. I was in an airport over the holidays, and I was randomly sitting next to some Canadians. And, when you're flying, you try to be polite, right? So I'm not going to start a fight with people from another country about their elected leader. They leaned into it, going on and on about Trudeau.
Well, I remember when he was all the rage and Canadians were, they finally had something exciting and sexy on their side of the border, But I just saw that the Globe, the Canadian newspaper, the Globe, is reporting he will be resigning by Wednesday. He's going to resign.
Really? I didn't even see that today.
That's what I saw. Well, I saw it on X. Somebody put it on X. It wasn't from the Globe. It was somebody saying that the Globe is reporting this, okay? That by Wednesday, he's going to resign. By Wednesday, he'll be gone. He's in real trouble. And maybe he saw the list and he figured, Dan Cerrucci, I said, I got to get the hell out of here. I better go.
That's my guess. Canada, come on, get your stuff together. If Trudeau goes, make a better choice. Or I guess you could become the 51st state, right? Donald Trump's kind of put that out there. So
absolutely.
Stranger things have happened in our politics as of late. That's for darn sure. You also have 3 names on here that are listed on the same line for obvious reasons: Kimmel, Colbert, and Fallon.
Oh, my God. They destroyed late night TV. They absolutely destroyed it between the 3 of them. Okay?
I kind of like Fallon.
So
Colbert is so officious. Okay? And which one is the other one that's always crying? Is it Jimmy Kimmel?
Kimmel's the one that's constantly crying. There's nothing
constantly
funny about him.
crying.
And as producer Dan points out, of the three here, I've enjoyed Fallon.
Fallon's the most tolerable.
The most, but lately he's been leaning into the politics, and I think it's because he feels he has to, and it's such a mistake.
Well, also Fallon had some bad stories about him, involving, heavy bouts of drinking and being abusive to people.
Yeah.
So, not that Carson, was a model in that regard, okay? Because Carson was a really, really nasty drunk. Not many people knew this,
but he was a funny
and he
drunk.
wasn't a very nice person, but he was the best late night talk show host ever.
Yeah, no, exactly. He revolutionized that entire genre, and now these three guys arguably are destroying it, which is sad. Not that I can stay up that late anymore. Anyway, moving along here, Bill Gates made your list.
Yeah, I'm really over Bill Gates. Not that I was ever terribly enamored of him, because, he always reminded me, of the smartest kid in the class. And you all know how we felt about that person, Matt. Okay? And the smartest kid in the class who also knew he was the smartest kid in the class and also sucked up to the teachers. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, but when he became this huge thing and then started meddling in politics and telling us how to live and telling the whole world how to live and lecturing to the entire world.
One of the many ironies of this, and you also have Mark Cuban on here, which I'm assuming is for similar reasons. I laugh when we see these headlines where leftists are wailing about Elon Musk's growing influence in American politics and in global politics. We finally have one gazillionaire who is not a far-left George Soros-style commie, and they can't take it. Now, granted, he also happens to be the richest, but we've dealt with a succession of whiny liberal billionaires who don't know what they don't know, like Bill Gates and Mark Cuban for years now, and we complained and we were ignored. So, karma, it's a you-know-what.
Yeah, and Mark Cuban, all right, Bill Gates comes across a hell of a lot smarter than Mark Cuban. I'll give Bill Gates that much credit. But Mark Cuban is another one who, and it just got worse and worse. I sort of liked him when he first came on the scene, Mark Cuban. I thought this guy is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
But it's over. It's over. I compared him, to the mooch. Remember the mooch that was all enamored of Trump and then turned on him. And
then turned on him, and then had that weird thing where him and Chris Christie kissed, and now, I don't know I don't know what the mooch is going to do in 2025, but it ain't going to be anywhere near Mar-a-Lago. I can tell you that much. You got some artistes on here as well. John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, and then Bruce Springsteen. Many people are surprised when Jersey guys like you and I don't love the boss.
I got to tell you, I've never been able to understand the appeal of Bruce Springsteen. I've heard some of his music. I cannot understand what he's saying. It all seems rather dark and sad. Even when he sings about glory days, it doesn't sound very glorious to me.
Authenticity, right? And I don't know if producer Dan agrees with this. You've got a guy who's been a gazillionaire since he was in his early 20s, right? So for well more than half of his life, he knows nothing about the working blue-collar man, right? That's getting somebody pregnant down on the river, right? Or getting pulled over by a state trooper, or fighting a gypsy with a knife under the boardwalk, or any of the other things he sings about, right? Like, there's no authenticity there. There's no heart in the music.
No.
And I almost kind of think it's appropriate that so many white liberals love the guy, wealthy white liberals, because they're also play acting, right? Pretending it's almost a caricature that they have of what the middle class or the working class is, and it's probably one of the reasons why they become so disconnected from them.
Yeah, it assuages their guilt.
Yeah, that's well put.
You know, and I grew up as a working class kid in Camden. Okay, I never knew that we were working class. All right, I didn't go around with my shoulders stooped and thinking, "Oh, life is so dreary." I'm growing up in a little working class family in a row house in Camden. You know, I mean, it's just.
No, I'm with you. It's not how real Americans behave, right? You suck it up, you get it done, and you move on up if you can. So many other names on here we could touch on, and like I said, there isn't a single name on here that I don't agree with. Karl Rove's on here. Jennifer Lopez on here. I forget the J-Lo's still around. Meghan and Harry should be on the list every darn year. Josh Shapiro is on this list. Let's skip to the other side of the river for a second as we come down to the close. Josh Shapiro remains popular in Pennsylvania, if you believe the public opinion polls, but I almost think he lost some of his luster in 2024.
I always felt he was hopelessly overrated. I still think he's hopelessly overrated. He never faced a tough election battle. Yeah. He never had a really difficult or tough opponent. He sort of sailed through. He's always had wonderful press, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think lately he's been channeling Barack Obama. He thinks he's sort of like the white Barack Obama. I don't see anything authentic about this guy. Nothing.
Well, I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most authentic people I know in media in our region is the great Dan Cerrucci. You can follow him on X. His handle's easy. It's Dan Cerrucci. Or over at his website, dancerrucci.com. I am also constantly cross-posting with permission Dan's great work over at SaveJersey.com. And my friend, I hope you have a fun and safe snow day tomorrow. Are you going to go outside and make some snow angels?
No, I'm not.
Dan's going to be looking online for a trip to someplace warm. I know you.
Let me tell you something. When I was able to make snow angels, I didn't make snow angels, okay?
And he's not going to start doing it now. Dan Cerrucci, everyone. Thanks, friend. You'll be back soon.
Thank you. Bye.
You're listening to The Matt Rooney Show. One more break, then back to close out the show with Twit Talk in a second.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
In Virginia Beach, our locals live the life every day. The art of living the life starts by connecting with what matters most: happiness. When you visit, you will realize that happiness is a real place and that it is here in Virginia Beach.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Dan Cerrucci was right. Not that I doubted him. While we were on air tonight, Bloomberg Business is reporting Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is likely to announce his resignation as leader of the Liberal Party this week. Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
What are you talking about?
You think Terrence and Phillip are upset or what?
See, there's a reference I get. I know Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah.
Were the other two guys Nickelodeon? Someone over on the chat
Drake
said
and Josh, yeah, they were Nickelodeon.
Yeah, see, my era of Nickelodeon was Salute Your Shorts, Hey Dude.
Yeah, no, this was early.
The one where they sat around the campfire. I forget what. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, this was like early 2000s Nickelodeon, like 2005, I think.
Yeah, see, by 2005, I was in college, so I wasn't watching Nickelodeon anymore.
Yeah.
At least not sober.
Drake and Josh is a great show.
I'll have to check it out sometime if I can find it online. And I think this was a great show tonight on 1210. The Matt Rooney show is always fun, at least for me. I hope it is for you. But now it's about to get a little weird because this is the part of the show when I turn affairs over to my trusted producer, and I don't know why I do it, but, well, what is it, Dan?
Hey, guys, gather round. Gather round.
It's Twit Talk time.
So strange, so weird. It's the segment you either love on the Matt Rooney show or you loathe it and tune out early, but we're not going to stop it because it's in Dan's contract.
It's not really my contract, but it's something that we both agreed on, and therefore we're gonna have it.
Well, basically the same thing.
So
proceed.
Just to warn you all, I have one that's really, I have one that's kind of disgusting. Actually, one that's kind of weird, and the rest of them are kind of tame. And then we ended off on a Theo Von.
As we always should.
As we always do.
I give you credit, even on the Zioli show when I was filling in over Christmas.
Yeah.
I gave you credit again for being one of the earliest Theo Von proponents. I don't know what the right way to put it is in conservative media. You identified him as an important cultural thing before anybody else did.
Right. Theo Von is very cultural. But this time there's a surprise for Theo Von at the end, but I'll get to that at the end.
Okay, cool.
So I'll let you decide where you want to start.
Oh.
So we can either do give me a number between 1 through 7, excluding 3.
5.
Okay, so it's a good one to start. Good one to start on.
Oh no!
This is a girl who goes to. Honestly, I don't know if I'm allowed to play it, but screw it. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. So be it. This is a girl who's going to her.
Well, 20th. Like FCC trouble or like.
No.
Okay, well that's
no.
all I really care
I don't
about.
think no.
Okay.
This is a girl who's getting dropped off at her 20th high school reunion.
Oh, God.
I guess by. I don't even know who, but yeah.
Oh, God.
All right.
Have fun. Call me if you need me.
All right. Some of these guys fingered me.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That wasn't the gross one, by the way.
That was not the gross one?
I have one way worse. No.
All right. Is there one that's like limoncello so I can cleanse my palate?
Not really, but I'll give you one that's like more political based if you want.
All right, let's do that.
All right, we'll go with that one.
Let's climb out of the
It's
hole.
only in America where you can live in a declining education system and vote for a person who wants to take away the Department of Education. Only in America do you think that the person who served on 3 branches of the government is less qualified than a person with a bunch of failed businesses and bankruptcies. Only in America do you think immigration reformation is more important than gun control reformation. Only in America do you think that you are so entitled by the color of your skin that by fear-mongering all of these other things that you are still going to get your way. Only in America can you be as poor as a homeless person on the street, and vote for a billionaire who gets tax breaks, who is on the verge of $1 trillion. Only in America can you be so stupid, vote against your own interests, and still complain about the outcomes. Only in America.
Only in America.
He's a little mad.
He's a little mad.
Wow. He needs to talk to somebody.
Was that a palate cleanser for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was in a sense, but
okay.
There are people out there that still feel like this. And I know that the election played out a little differently than it did in 2016. I think there was a lot of shock on the left back then. Now there's more sad resignation. But there's still some really ticked off people. And, we already covered this earlier in the show. I hope that they can take the advice of that Kamala Harris advisor of all people in MSNBC and just focus on what's actually going to happen and try to deprogram a little bit. I know that that's a wish that's not going to be fulfilled on my part, but I'll say it anyway.
You like fajitas?
Oh, I love a good fajita.
Do you think that you're freaky for fajitas?
I would not say that. I do love that sizzle.
All right. Well, you and this next girl.
Oh, God.
Disagree.
I'm the kind of girl who would get freaky for a good fajita. Just look at it sizzle.
Oh, yeah.
Mustard.
Freaky for a good fajita.
Freaky for a good fajita. I'll tell you what. When I was single, I never drew that kind of date. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. All right.
All right. We're gonna do the super gross one now.
No, don't do the gross one. Don't we have others? I thought the other one was the super gross one.
No, we have no.
Oh, come on.
All right, we'll do another one. Okay, this isn't a super gross one, but it's one that you. It's.
I like a little gross. Like I should feel a little embarrassed and blush.
No. Just wait. This one, you should start wearing your mask again.
Plenty of people are.
You should wear a mask starting today. If RFK is going to be in charge of public health, we need to take care of each other. So we should all be masking. We don't want kids to be getting sick with whatever because he bans life-saving interventions. Get a good one. Get like a KN95. All right. Get a black one. They go with everything. They look really sexy. Then they will go with every outfit if they're black. Okay. It's a fashion tip.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you looked at the video or not. But,
yeah. If you're not watching on YouTube, this is one of the reasons you have to do that as well because you're missing context.
He's got the unibrow is just really.
It's an intense unibrow.
It's something, man.
Oh, he looks like, what is it, Frau Farbizna from the Bisma from Austin Powers. Unleash the hounds.
So you should start masking because RFK is going to be in charge of your health soon.
I would imagine that particles would get trapped in that unibrow.
Well,
create a health risk unto itself.
Time for the gross one.
Oh, come on.
Time for the gross one. It is 1:24, but you tell me when to stop, and I will stop.
So I can stop this at any time I want.
Give it at least 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. At least. At least. I don't know why I find this so funny, but it really is. Yeah. Okay. Communism's coming back, but in a way that you probably don't want it to.
This is my communal finish rag.
Oh,
yes,
God.
I know, that's really disgusting.
That's dumb. All right, that's enough. Cool. All right. I didn't.
I mean, I technically didn't say stop, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
And can I tell you what was deceiving about that? She had a sweet, like, Aussie type of accent.
Yeah.
Which, being a basic male, I think, subconsciously more willing to see where that was going to go.
Well, this is Twit Talk, and I found it on Twitter, so there you go.
Oh, God, you're so disgusting.
There was a lot more. Essentially, the gist of it was a communal rag that all the guys that she's with in the back of the car use that because they don't know any better, and she's kept it in her car.
Oh.
Yeah. And she doesn't tell them about them, and she's not going to tell them. It's just there.
Wow.
Yes. That's a way to wake people up on a Sunday.
Well, you know what she could probably use, though?
Paper towels.
And
baby bonuses.
Or baby oil.
Or baby oil.
Right. So that was your gross one for the night.
That's feminism for you in 2025.
Yep.
Free to be as gross as your caricature of what a man is.
Be careful about who you're hooking up with, or she might go with the communal finish rag.
Oh, my God. You even got Mangle Mush throwing up over on YouTube. Look, folks, you wanted him back.
You did. You
wanted him back. Everybody's like, oh, my God, it's so great that Dan is back. Really?
Yep.
Are you sure? I'm not necessarily all in on this decision, but, I mean, it is what it is now.
All right. You ready for Theo Von?
Yes. Let's
Okay,
get down with some
This isn't
Theo.
a specific one by him. It's more of a compilation of
okay.
Theo Von moments.
Okay.
That I think are funny.
A Theo Von compilation.
Yeah.
Recent moments?
No, it's just top 5 Theo Von funny moments.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
When I was young, at least you could just be racist, you know? It was easy. It was organized. It was, boom, 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 no, no, no,
Right.
But then now it's like, yeah, you got the Vietnam English. We had a dude try to fast himself out of being gay, I remember one time.
How many days?
I think he did almost 40 days or 20-something days. Isn't that crazy?
How much weight did he lose?
He lost it. Oh, he was ribs and by the end of it, These are dying from the heat.
Is it the heat?
Yep. They're evaporating, they ejaculate, and their whole body blows up.
Is that real?
Bring it up, Jamie. At my buddy Tim's house one time, went to take a nap. Bro, on his floor. 12 by 12 square foot room, dude, and the pool touched all 4 walls, bro.
I'm drinking like Monster energy drinks sometimes, which are like magnets. They're delicious, but they make you want to pee.
Make you want to beat your wife too, dude. I've seen a lot of dudes drinking Monster that they're going home to punch.
I will say, since Twit Talk started, we have boosted viewers. So
let me tell you something. I'm never going to be president, ladies and gentlemen, but if I ever am, you know who's getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Yeah, Theo Von.
Theo Von, man. You can be damn sure that Theo's getting one. I'll give him 3. National treasure. And I treasure all of you out there in the Matt Rooney Show audience. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the program. Thank you to everybody that listened the old-fashioned way, watched the new old-fashioned way on YouTube, or enjoyed us via the app. Thank you, Producer Dan, for grossing me out. My stomach hurts. Until next week, stay safe, stay sane, and keep fighting for this greatest nation in God's creation. It's worth it.
But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down.
Attention, have you racked up